Good evening and welcome to this session of the live virtual coaching classes organized by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. For the last two sessions, we have been talking about the incorporation of company and matters incidental thereto. I take this opportunity to greet all of you here who put in your good evening, Ms. Jyoti Jha, Mr. Ingle, Manoj Kumar Thakur, Nitesh Bhai Patel, and Mr. Chetan Gadda and others, I'm sure who are all there. Welcome, and kindly permit me the indulgence of reciting, the small prayer again because of this internet connection. Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvina Vaditamastu, Ma Vigvisavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. In fact, that Ma Vidvisavahe is very, very powerful. Means that is actually a prayer that says, let there be no disturbance. Let there be no misunderstanding between us. The teacher is telling, let there be no misunderstanding between us. So we can always have meaningful discussion, but we cannot have argument. Okay? Like that. But I'm also adding internet. So many of you. Wow, thank you. Thank you. As you rightly say, Jay Dhyanji, we are playing internet God we have to create. We have not got. As of now, there is a general prayer to the forces of nature. The registration of charges and writing, and happy to read it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now moving on. Any questions are there? You can always put it there. And so great. Moving on with, let me quickly go to the topic we were talking about in the last session. I think we have already covered all this. If you have any doubts as you're seeing it, kindly put it up here. I will do my best to answer your questions. This is very important because, in not this chapter, maybe in a later date, I will try to explain some past year questions in class, or maybe in the next class, I'll do it, if you don't mind. Because this class we cannot, but next class, yes, we may complete the total topic a bit early, when definitely it's a good idea, Mr. Abdul, we will do it. It's a good idea, I will take it up. So we will take it up and we will do it. So we have seen all this. We have seen entrenchment also, if you remember. We have seen entrenchment and how the memorandum, the act is superior to the memorandum and articles and all that. So fairly simple. Ellie's case we saw exactly. Now we move on to the doctrines. Yeah. So before we even begin the doctrine, let us first understand the meaning of the term ultra-vires. It's not basically ultra-virus as Dhyanesh has spelled it. It is not virus, it is wires. V-I-R-E-S. Virus is different. Virus is a microcellular or shall we say, organism that causes illness. Whereas this is wires. It's a Latin term. Wires means power. Ultra means beyond, as in ultraviolet rays and infrared rays. So in the color spectrum, beyond the spectrum, beyond the VIB-GEA, okay, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange. Beyond, okay, violet, you have ultraviolet, and beyond orange, you have infrared. So these ultraviolet and infrared rays are very important because ultra means beyond, infra means within. So your question is answered, which is ultraviolet means beyond the powers, and intraviolet means within the powers. Okay, I understand that there is a spelling. This autocorrect is the greatest one. This is nothing. It causes much embarrassment also. Okay, so ultraviolet means beyond the powers. Intraviolet, not infra. Okay, intraviolet means within the powers. So which means, suppose the company has certain powers. When they are acting within those powers, the act is intraviolet. When they are acting in a manner which is beyond the powers, it means beyond or outside of the scope, right? So, yeah. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to request some of you not to put comments which are not connected with the current topic, as and when it comes to your mind. But if you do that, I may ignore it also. For example, exam date declared. Please do not put such comments in our session query pad. If you would like to communicate this to, this is not a public board or forum where this is not the group. I believe there's a Instagram, Telegram group. Now, there you can put all these things. Here, do not put. We have a question. We have a point from Pranay Vasishta on OPC. I will surely take it up. Once I come to a resting point, I will take it up. In the meantime, please try to avoid, humble request, please try to avoid disturbing the flow of the narrative. When I'm talking about one subject, please do not put, because it comes to your mind and you have finger and keypad, don't type it into the query pad. Unless it is a query related to the current topic. Otherwise, put it in the end, not now. What I suggest now, if you are working with a laptop, keep a Word document. Whenever you feel like putting some comment, type it in that Word document. Then later on, copy paste it when we are free. When I'm asking you, do you have any more points? At that time, you bring it in. And 100% avoid, even related to institute matters, avoid non-subject or non-topic related comments. Kindly, this goes to all of you. Non-topic, non-subject related, though institute related, please avoid. This is a humble request to prevent wastage of time. As even my good friend, Mr. Muhammad Aslam himself would agree, it will only waste everybody's time. Okay. So coming back to the doctrine, ultra-vires literally means beyond the powers. The opposite term is intra-vires, which means within powers. How do you determine the powers of a company? The company is an artificial person. The company has no natural life. See, you and I, what we can do, there is no limit. The potential for a human being is unlimited. There is no, at the time when you were born, your family has not given any condition that so-and-so will be this, will do this like that. Though some parents and some children, they put themselves into this type of narrow limitations, but there is no limitation for a human being. There is no limitation for the potential of a human being. You can do whatever you want to do in your life. If what the mind can conceive, it can achieve. There is no limitation. But for company, there is a limitation. How is it limited? It is limited by the memorandum and articles of association, especially by the object class. So what a company can do or what a company cannot do is limited, restricted by the memorandum and articles of association, right? When any contract is entered into or any act is done, which is beyond the scope of the memorandum and articles, then that act is ultra-vires. Similarly, the powers of the directors is limited by the articles. What the directors can do on their own is limited by the articles. So if they go beyond that, that is called ultra-vires the directors. That is beyond the powers of the directors. But still, it could be well within the power of the company. In which case, an act which is beyond the powers of the directors, but within the scope of the company's memorandum, can be ratified. Means, can be, you studied ratification in your intermediate agency. An agent may act beyond the scope of his authority. But if it is something that the principal can accept, then that is called ratification. This is called ratification, agency by ratification. In fact, the relationship between director and company is also similar, principal and agent. Therefore, when the directors go beyond the scope of their of the articles, example, suppose the article says directors can borrow up to 1 crore. Beyond 1 crore, they have to get the consent of the shareholders. The directors, for some emergency purpose, they borrow more than 1 crore. Now, this is not ultra-vires the company, because company can borrow any amount. So long as that amount is borrowed for the purpose of the company, objects of the company. No problem. But it is ultra-vires the directors. Such an act can be ratified by the company. But suppose the company has an object class. According to the objects of the company is supposed to be engaged in manufacture of cement. They get into a contract for the purpose of developing a software park. They enter into a contract for developing a software park, STP, software technology park. Right? Now, this is not present in their memorandum. This is beyond the scope of the memorandum. So, it is ultra-wise even the company. Similarly, when a company or its directors violate the provisions of this act or any other law, such an act is unlawful. The act cannot be ratified even with the consent of all the members. So, unlawful acts are straightaway ultra-wise. Similarly, when the directors exceed their authority, the company may ratify. But if the company itself is restricted, it cannot enter into the business of software technology park, but it has entered into a developmental authority to set up a software technology park. Sorry to say, according to the doctrine of ultra-vires, this contract, this agreement to set up the software technology park is void. Void ab initio. It's a very draconian doctrine. It's a very tough, hard, because the other party cannot sue. Company also cannot sue. Any act done is void. It's a very, very draconian provision. Okay. But what is the purpose? There must be some purpose now. Such a foolish, such a stupid provision is there in the act. There must be something. One more humble request to people. If I have not answered a question, putting it 2 or 3 times will not make me answer it. Please do not do it. Small things that you can do to make our session more meaningful. Question will be answered. Similarly, do not ask questions like, are you able to see my question? I am not blind. Though I'm myopic. I'm not blind. I can see. I can see what you are putting there. Obviously, if I answer your question, Sushmita Hazra, will I not be wasting everybody's time on a question which is definitely not currently relevant? Please understand. Huh? Your question will be answered, Ji. Abhi to nahi. Baad. Sure. So stop repeating it again and again and allow others to put in questions relating to the topic. And concentrate on what I am telling. Because though some of you may think you know the doctrines well, because you studied it in maybe college or preliminary or whatever you call it, the entrance exam or whatever you call it, I think what you call foundation, whatever. Still, you please, because if you don't understand the first 2 doctrines, indoor management will become a problem. Okay, so the purpose of the doctrine is twofold. Why is there such a doctrine here? Any act done which is beyond the scope of the memorandum of the company, object class, is void ab initio. Why is it there? As usual, it is to protect the investors so that they may know for what purpose the money will be employed. Sir, I am an investor. I am planning to invest in your company. I read your memorandum. It's a public document. I read it. What does it say? It says you are a cement manufacturing company. I want to invest in a cement company, not in a software technology company or in a company that runs a park, however logical it is. Maybe you are a cement company, you can easily control the price of supply of cement. Therefore, construction will be easy. Boss, all that is good. But as of now, does your memorandum have object for software technology park? No. So when I saw it, I'm thinking you are cement. I gave the money. Now you want to use my money for software technology park? No. That is why the company's funds cannot be used for something which is not in the object class. This is the main purpose. Similarly, there are existing creditors. See, the new creditor who's lending now, he should have read the memorandum. Yeah. Am I correct? The doctrine of constructive notice says all documents filed with the registrar, MCA website are public documents. You should hire a company secretary or on your own go there, download the document, go to the website, take it down. Okay. See, how to do it is a practical point. Yeah. Today itself, if you want to do it, but normally I don't even go there. My staff will do it, or some company secretary will do it. Point is different. That data should be downloaded and seen by us so that we know what is the scope. Suppose these creditors who lent for the software technology park had seen the memorandum, they would have seen that this is not there. They should not have lent. So ignorantia is not being ignorant is not allowed, right? Therefore, the creditors who are giving the money, I'm not going to sympathize with them. But there are creditors who have already lent money to this company. Now their money and those assets which are available to them. In case the company does not repay, the assets which are now existing, the cement assets, will have to be sold and used for paying the creditors. Those assets cannot be further, diluted for new creditors for an object which is not in the memorandum. So this doctrine of ultra vires is meant to protect both investors and creditors. Okay. The rationale behind the doctrine is competency to enter into a contract. For an individual, competency is determined by age or soundness of mind. But company, being an artificial person, does not have a body or mind. We already saw. How to determine competency? They're not based on age. You can't say 5-year-old company is matured, not like that. Hence, competency is determined by the memorandum. The memorandum states affirmatively what the company can do and states negatively what the company cannot do. Okay. The corporate life cannot be spent for any purpose other than those specified in the memorandum. Mr. Vora says, I was learnt doctrine of ultra vires and also indoor management, etc., etc. Also Tarkan rule, nahi bhaiya. Both are one and the same. Indoor management is Tarkan rule. But you might ask me, why are you wasting my time teaching me stuff that I already know? Don't worry. Revision. Take it as revision. It is important. It is necessary to go through it. Therefore, I am going through it. If you feel that I am going through stuff that you already know, bear with me. Or try to look for a new insight. Try to look for a new insight. This is an ability that is going to be very, very important for the future. People who are able to read the same content again and get new insight, they are the leaders of the next 10 to 20 years. People who say, I know, will not see. Their eyes are open, but they do not see. Their ears are open, but they do not listen. Okay? They do not feel. Because your inner eye should be open, which means, aram se, even a known topic, an intelligent person will get new insights and new knowledge. What I'm trying to do here, my dear friends, is connect these three doctrines. Please understand that they are not standalone doctrines. They have connection. The first doctrine is the doctrine of constructive notice. It says all documents are public. So it says everybody who wants to deal with a company deemed to have read, even if they have not read, they have read. Over. Doctrine of ultra vires says if the company enters into a contract which is beyond the scope of its memorandum, contract is void ab initio. Now we come to doctrine of indoor management. Already you know what is constructive notice. I'm not going to waste your time. Now come to indoor management. See, to understand indoor management, you should know that a transaction may have two aspects. Substantive, what has to be done, and procedural, how it is to be done. For example, the Companies Act, sections of the Companies Act deal with what? That is why it is called substantive law. The Companies Act 2013, sections, actual sections are called substantive law. Now, in those sections, you will find as may be prescribed like that. That is procedural law, for which you have to go to the rules. The rules will give out clearly how it is to be done. Both are law, both are binding. Right. Now, I am an outsider. I have read your memorandum. I have read your articles. So I know what has to be done. I also know how it is to be done because in the articles you are saying, company, in the memorandum you said the company can borrow monies for the purpose of the objects. In the articles you said board of directors can borrow up to 1 crore. Beyond that, they have to get the consent of the company. I know what is to be done. But how do I know whether it has actually been done, boss? In case you have not passed that resolution, in case the member's consent has not been obtained, how can I know whether it has been? Because if I do that, then I'll have to come into your boardroom, indoors. That is why it's called doctrine of indoor management. So the doctrine of indoor management says he can presume in his own favor. There is a presumption in his favor that things which ought to have been done regularly have been done regularly. If the article says special resolution to be passed, maximum what he can do, he can ask for a certified copy of the special resolution. So they will give a piece of paper, kagas mein, clearly it says resolution passed on such and day and signed a true copy chairman. I keep that in my file. No, tomorrow you can't come back. The company cannot come back and say, these directors never called a meeting. They never got our consent. Therefore, we will not repay the amount. Sorry. Because they gave this paper. I saw your memorandum articles. Beyond that, sorry, I cannot go in and find out whether it was done. That is a presumption in favor of the third party. So the doctrine of constructive notice is a presumption against the third party in favor of the company. That the third party is expected to know what the company can and cannot do. He is deemed to know. But indoor management is a presumption in favor of the third party. So long as he has read everything and he knows and he got proof that some document, even that is not needed. But it's good to take and keep. For beyond, if you go to court, you can always say, look here, sir, I took his resolution. This is a resolution they have given. If it is a forged signature, if that never happened, not my problem. This doctrine was first laid down in the case of Royal British Bank versus Turkand. That's why the doctrine of indoor management is also known as Turkand's rule. So in this case, the company had powers to borrow money, provided a proper resolution was passed. The company borrowed money and issued bonds. The resolution was not in fact passed. But so long as the third party knew this and he verified whether that has been done, they told him it has been done, then the company was bound. The fact that the resolution was not passed did not affect the bank. In fact, Turkand's rule is the basic law. Okay, the bank was bound to inspect the articles, which it did. Beyond that, they were neither bound nor entitled to do. Otherwise, you could take them indoor, right? In fact, the word indoor was actually used in another case law, Howard versus Patent Ivory Company. The word itself was used in the House of Lords. They said it would take them indoor. That's why this doctrine is also known as doctrine of indoor management. So, what is the difference between doctrine and principle? No problem. Principle, doctrine, but commonly we have been using the word doctrine. See, slight difference between doctrine and principle is this. Principle is generally a kind of generally accepted, viewpoint. Whereas doctrine is a rule which is followed. So if you want to use some other word for this, you can use the word rule of indoor management. That's why this is called Turkand's rule. Whereas a principle is something slightly stronger. For example, you have principles which are natural principles. See, they are observed and well known. Okay. Whereas this is man-made. This is convenience of human being. We have done this. So if you want to use some other word instead of doctrine, then the word rule is an easier word. Rule of indoor. It's a rule. The courts have laid down this rule for us to follow. Okay. Principle is something very, very underlying. For example, principles could involve separate legal entity, so principle, and things like characteristic of a company, artificial entityship. These are all principles. But so slightly, doesn't matter. English is a very, very loose language. If you use principle of indoor management, nothing wrong. But in the exam, kindly use the word doctrine because the examiner knows it as doctrine of indoor management. Okay, examiner and general people, like almost everybody knows it as doctrine. So kindly use doctrine. If company altered object class of memorandum with the consent of all members, no, it is not. The day it amended the object class, then what is the problem? It is paka. They can do it. So before, that is all. Your question itself has the answer. Your question itself has the answer, which is, Only when it is not in the memorandum, it is ultra vires. When they have amended the memorandum, then it is from the, if they borrow and amend, if they amend and borrow, yes. I hope you saw the point. If they borrow money, ultra vires borrowing, then they amend it, nothing will happen. Because on the date when they borrowed, it was beyond the scope. But suppose they amend and then borrow, then no. See, this is, believe me, what you are now learning, I'm sure some of you are feeling very irritated and angry with me. It's so fundamental, almost like you feel that I'm teaching you ABCD when you are learning Milton and Shakespeare. I understand your mindset now. It is not that I cannot. But sometimes, as I told you, it's better to. For example, there's a novel called The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's a sort of prequel to the Lord of the Rings. I read it when I was 13 years old. Again, I read it when I was 23 years old, before I started reading The Lord of the Rings. I wanted to read The Lord of the Rings at 23, but before that I thought I'll as well read The Hobbit. I read it. Recently, I binge watched The Hobbit 3, the 3 Hobbit movies. I again started reading The Hobbit, and which is in my library, and my private library, and I took down the book from the library, and I started reading it. And believe me, I could get totally new insights into this. Sorry to go out of context, which I am guilty of myself, but I hope you find this interesting. Tolkien had a great friend, J.R.R. Tolkien, who wrote the book Lord of the Rings, had a friend called C.S. Lewis. Now, C.S. Lewis, who was the author of the Narnia books, C.S. Lewis says, if you can read something again and get new insights from it, you have become more intelligent. That's what he says. So nothing wrong in reading and rereading. Okay, so we learn a lot. Is that? The Sushmita Hazra is decided to make it a thing. Is it necessary, really necessary to take the tuitions of coaching classes? No, not necessary. Attend only the ICAI Board of Studies live virtual coaching class. Read only the institute material. No need to attend coaching classes. Your question answered, madam? Okay. Thank you. Good. See, that is one more problem. There are people here who have not studied it. Anyway, I know whenever I come to the doctrines, people will get angry. But when I say angry, what I mean is irritated and frustrated. Because, you are all young people. You get frustrated faster. Because you are young. I know your blood is hot. You get frustrated faster. You get angry with people. You say, don't do this. Chalo, go on. Okay, so, so life is slow for me. Nothing, no hurry. Okay. Anyway, Ashbury rail carriage versus Riche, similar to Turkan's rule, this is the case law where the doctrine was decided by a famous man called Lord Macnaghten. See, Lord Macnaghten laid down this rule or doctrine or principle as the case may be. See, Sushmita Hazra, now she will be free. Now she can concentrate on the subject. Till now, her mind was totally only, should I attend coaching? Should I attend? No need to attend. Okay. Personal study is more than enough. Okay. Our institute is giving you so many resources. And maybe for some subjects, one or two good textbooks. In fact, we do not, and please do not take this discussion outside of the context. Please. Okay, I'm using this query pad meaningfully. Don't make it waste of time for me. Otherwise, I will ignore all questions in query pad and go on with the lecture. Okay. So enough on coaching classes. Though I am not suggesting coaching classes. Once upon a time, 1980s and all, there were no coaching classes at all. Only institute, SARC or WARC or NARC or EARC will have classes there. Our seniors will come. Chartered accountants will come. All famous guys like R. Bhupati and all will come. They will teach us. Whatever we learn from them, only we will learn. Not like now when you stand up and say, sir, please take that again. The donkey will again go through the same topic again because they took money from you. They will do it. No faculty of our SARC will do that. If you stand up and say, I want to learn again, they'll say, go home and learn. Like that, we will be insulted and sent. We learned from such great masters and we went home and we studied again like that. So that is how we studied. And it's not. I didn't go for any coaching. Okay. So please don't waste your money going for such unnecessary. If it is your own money, it's bad. If it is your parents' money, please do not waste it for coaching and other things. Okay. Our institute material is more than enough. Okay. So that's what Macnaghten's great words are. The corporate life cannot be spent for any purpose other than those specified in the memorandum. So what Ashbury Rail Carriage, what happened in that case was the company was supposed to, they were supposed to engage in building railway carriages, but they entered into a contract for laying railway lines in Belgium. For that, they entered into contract for buying coal and all that. It was held that those contracts were void and the creditors could not claim. In that case, that case came before the Chancery Division, then the Court of Appeals. Finally, it came to the House of Lords. In the House of Lords, once and for all, Lord Macnaghten laid down this doctrine in Raspberry Rail Carriage versus Rish. Okay, beautiful. Moving on. Now, from your exam point of view, these 4 points will be very important. Exceptions to the doctrine of indoor management, because generally they ask you questions on that. Exceptions to the doctrine of indoor management. Doctrine says third party can go through the documents, can go through the memorandum and articles, etc., can find out what is to be done, how is to be done. But third party cannot find out whether the procedure has been actually complied with. Therefore, so long as he has taken reasonable precautions, he can presume in his own favor that things which ought to have been done regularly. Now coming to the exception. First exception, persons having actual knowledge of the irregularity. Meaning what? The person saying, I'm claiming indoor management, is a party to that activity. For example, one of the directors, he is a director, he is sitting in that boardroom when this irregularity is happening. Later on, he cannot say, I'm a third party, I'm protected, because you are a person having actual knowledge, Baba. You knew that the procedure was not carried out. How can you say, indoor management will protect me? It won't protect you. Similarly, suppose a person has acted as a director, then that person, a director cannot say, I did not have knowledge of the irregularity. So that is also one of the exceptions. Forgery is always a nullity in law. Reuben versus Great Fingal Company Limited. See, forgery is a nullity in law, right? It is the duty of a person to ensure that the signature is correctly verified, for especially bankers. As you know, under the Negotiable Instrument Act, a banker should not pass a check which is forged. Okay? If he has the slightest doubt, he can return it. In this case, what happened? The MD was forging the signatures and taking it. Therefore, easily you can find out a forgery. If it's a forgery, you reverse it. After accepting a forgery, you cannot claim indoor management. After accepting a forged document, which you could have verified whether it's a forgery or not, or a forged check, he cannot say, I'm protected by indoor management. Similarly, where a person is put on inquiry, see, the nature of the transaction is such that normal person itself will ask question, why are you doing? For example, in this case, what happened? The MD of the company was taking checks in the name of the company, endorsing him in his favor, putting the chop and endorsing him in his favor and depositing in his personal account. Check in the name of the company, endorsed by the MD, and put in the MD's personal account. Now, once in a while, this is okay. But if this keeps on happening every day, the banker is put on inquiry. He should call the MD and ask him, what's happening here, Baba? How can you do this? Are you having board resolution? Show me. Has it been done correctly? Having failed to make such reasonable inquiry, he is not protected by the doctrine of indoor management. Okay? So these are the exceptions to the doctrine of indoor management. Yeah. Moving on. Now we move on to another very interesting and important topic, which is, before we go there, any quick questions we'll see. Can I write in notes, doctrine of indoor management is exception to doctrine of... doctrine of indoor management is exception to doctrine of constructive notice. Doctrine of indoor management is exception to doctrine of constructive notice. Doctrine of constructive notice says he should have read. So, doctrine of indoor management says he has read, but he can only read. He cannot find out whether it has happened or not. So, the doctrine of indoor management, if you want to make a note as doctrine of indoor management is an exception to doctrine of constructive notice. Doctrine of ultra vires is a common law rule applicable to all situations. Beyond the scope of memorandum, what? Be very, very careful, especially tomorrow. Some of you may become senior credit monitoring officers in big banks, ICICI Bank, IDBI Bank, which is now going to become totally privately held. Government stake is going to come down. So in such institutions, when you're holding important positions, you have to be very careful when dealing with companies. 100% you should hire a company secretary or a firm of company secretaries, ask them to do a thorough investigation of the company and give a report. What is the scope of the memorandum, whether these have been done, etc., etc. Okay? Only then you should lend money or take up the matters. If you need further protection, you should protect yourself. Okay? So this is the learning you have to get. You might think, sir, indoor management and all, we know, sir, what is the use in my career? Believe me, tomorrow if you're going to get into a senior level position in, or even a junior level position in credit monitoring in ICICI Bank or IDBI Bank, you have to be aware of this. And if you don't take precaution, tomorrow the fellow becomes NPA. When we do the audit, all this will come out. If you will say, hey, come on, yeah, this is also not done. So it's part of SOP. You have to do it like that. So this is something, nobody has to put it in SOP. For a chartered accountant, this should be basic instinct. Before you deal with the company, call for the MOA and AOA and see to it. In fact, most of my clients, larger clients, okay, I always advise them, when you're hiring a new vendor, when you're onboarding a new vendor, kindly go through his memorandum articles. It is available as a public document, download it and see it. Okay. And as part of vendor evaluation, 100% you have to do memorandum articles verification. Why? Because definitely whether that memorandum has that. Same way, very important, because for a customer also you have to do the same thing. Am I correct? Before you deal with the customer, you have to do it. More importantly, because tomorrow you supply goods to him and it's beyond the scope of memorandum, you are out. That will not come out during the running transaction. Everything will be going on well. 10 years, everything will be going on well. Suddenly that fellow will go into insolvency. When he goes into insolvency, the resolution profession will take over. And that fellow will do research in law. And he'll come back and say, you have supplied goods for such and such a purpose, not part of the memorandum, ultra vires, because he'll be a chartered accountant or company secretary. So he will play all sorts of things. So protect yourself and see to it that you are protected. That is the learning I would like to give from this topic. Party who is having knowledge cannot claim that he was not aware. Na? When I'm one of the party to that irregularity, I am aware of it, then I cannot claim. Na? Similarly, a director on the board cannot say tomorrow that he was not aware. Na? Forgery, suppose you are getting a check, it is your job to ensure that it is not a forgery. If you have not ensured it and taken a forged check, forgery is a nullity in law. You cannot say indoor management. You cannot claim from the company. Let us say that the company secretary forged the company director's signatures and gave the check. If you accept the forged check and present it to the bank, check is bounced. You can only claim it from the company secretary, not from the company, because it is a forgery and a nullity in law. Therefore, doctrine of indoor management will not apply. Company is not liable. See, in all these exceptions, company is not liable. Persons put on inquiry means the nature of the transaction is so suspicious, doubtful, that normal person will ask question, what is happening here? If such question is not asked and the transaction is entered into, later on, the third party cannot say, I am protected by the doctrine of indoor management. Because the nature of the transaction is very suspicious. That's what I gave you the example of MD depositing check in his own account. So not normally done. Na? Company ka check, company account only deposited. Consistently, this fellow is putting it in his own account. So the banker should ask. And if he should not permit it. Okay. Put on inquiry. That's what it means. You should have a copy of the other person's signature. Usually this forgery will be only for banks. If a bank passes a check, which is a forgery, okay, they are bound to compensate because they have the signature specimen. That is the only way. Otherwise, you are protected. See, suppose somebody gives you a check, you can't know if it is forged or not. But so you are protected. You are protected. But the banker, suppose he passes the check, he is not protected. In this, mainly forgery is meant to meant for bankers. Bankers will have their specimen signature. Na? They should verify and reject. So this forgery will be mainly for bankers. When the banker claims indoor management on a forgery, the law says, if it is a forgery, how did you accept it? Therefore, you are not protected. You have to compensate the company. Yeah, minor signing, whatever, you have to take protection. That is all. Again and again, I would say, be careful. Take protection, get more information, put it in the file, document it, so that later on you can always rely on that documentation. Okay, alteration of memorandum and articles. The word alteration itself is defined in the Act. It says includes the making of additions, omissions, and substitutions. So you can add one more clause, or you can delete a clause. Clause means section. The articles of association and memorandum, the divisions are called clause. Like in Santa Claus, C-L-A-U-S-E. Santa Claus, C-L-A-U-S. Whereas memorandum clause, C-L-A-U-S-E clause. Okay. Right? So, clause. So, each clause of the memorandum and articles, you can add one more clause, or you can delete a clause, or you can remove existing clause and substitute with a new clause. Anything you can do. Or you can substitute a word, right? Or delete a word. Anything. Depends on what you want to do. For example, suppose the memorandum, the article says directors can borrow up to 1 crore. Now you want to increase the limit to 2 crore. Then you will say, resolved that subject to the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, blah, 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 Section 13 and Section 14 of the Companies Act 2013 and other applicable provisions of the law, the articles of association of the company be amended as follows or altered as follows. Below that, in the clause 47 of the articles of association, for the words rupees 1 crore and the figures rupees 1 crore, the words rupees 2 crores and the figures rupees 2 crores may be or shall be substituted. This is a standard resolution, which once it is approved by the members, the articles will be amended. Now the new limit will be 2 crore. Okay. So what you should do, company may alter the provisions of its memorandum with the approval of the members by a special resolution. Right? That is why yesterday at the last class, I took a lot of trouble to explain special resolution, which you know well. Nobody can now shake your awareness of special resolution. Am I correct? So now onwards, I don't have to explain what is a special resolution. Ayaji, Dhyaneshji, I told you now, this forgery will be applicable only to bankers who will have specimen signature. You and I, suppose you have received a forged check, right? And you are not, you can claim. You can claim, right? But banker who is supposed to check, if he passes the check, he cannot claim from the company. That loss is a loss, that's all. The company is not bound to accept it. Okay. But you and I, we may accept that. See, I'll tell you what will happen. You are a third party. You are accepting a forged, it's a typical example. You are accepting a forged check where the director has forged the signature of the other director. Right, sir? Now you go to the bank. You present it for collection. There you find the banker will not pass it. If he is an intelligent banker, he will reject it. Now the check will be bounced. Now the question is whether the company is bound or not. Now the company may claim that, boss, this is a forgery, it's an LAD in law like that. Then you will say, look here, I am not, how can I, your argument only you will give. I am an ordinary individual. How I am not an expert in signature, like that you will argue. And you will say, I am an innocent third party. A check was given. I verified whether these two fellows are directors. They are. I don't know what their signature is. I need not verify like that. And you can go and you can, and you can claim the doctrine of indoor management and say, I am protected. You pay me. In case you don't pay me, I'll treat it as a bounced check and I will take action against you. Like that. Okay. This is how this case will be resolved. But suppose the banker has falsely passed the check. Now, the company can go to him and say, look here, you are a banker. and you should supposed to have verified my specimen signature. How did you pass it? No, he cannot say, I am an innocent third party. I got a check, I passed it. Why he cannot say? Because he could have verified the signature with the specimen. It's a negligence on his part. Therefore, such a party cannot claim doctrine of indoor management. Okay? Mr. Vashishta, you want to hold on to 75%? Or you want to, which is superior? The articles and the section of the act or even the institute material? You tell me. Okay? Please, don't, see, this is where Ma Vidvishavahe. You are putting me in an embarrassing situation where I am forced to say that something is wrong. Don't make me do that. Rather, as a teacher, I am taking you to the fountainhead of wisdom. Yesterday, one of our colleagues, who was listening, he posted the actual section in the group. Suppose he is attending, let him post it again. So, Prana Vashishta, do you want to get the right knowledge or do you want to justify 70%? I can give you the right knowledge, but I will not enter into this discussion on, it is said like that in module on 7.2 page number. I will not waste my time going to 7.52 page number. Maybe the person who wrote the notes was trying to make it simple for you to understand. But in their attempt to make it simple, maybe they have been a little inaccurate. Nevertheless, kindly learn from me. If you think that I have some knowledge of this provision, and also why me? Boss, you go to the Bare Act and see, there is no 75%. You understand? Pranay Vasishta, first learning in your life. Come out of your childhood, become an adult, refer to the Bare Act, refer to the sections. First step in becoming a chartered accountant. When you are studying in 5th standard, you could tell your teacher, sir, in the textbook it says like that, sir. That was possible up to 10th, 12th, even graduation. But in CA, the institute is no guarantee. If you want to learn, you should also read the Bare Act. You understand, my dear friend? I'm not telling this to make you feel uncomfortable, but to help you understand a very, very, very important point. If you want to be an expert in company law, you should rely on the Bare Act. It's a very important point. I'm somewhere or the other in my lectures, I will make this point. Thanks to Vasishta, I'm now doing it. Act is more superior. Now, do you know how to refer to the Act? Please go do that. See, boss, institute material is beautifully prepared now. Let us say that there are a few small errors there. So do the go on with your life. What do you say? What benefit in finding error? Leave it. But your knowledge should be complete, my dear friend. You understand? So kindly do not engage in such type of comments, like where you say in modules also. Maybe there's a valid reason when you can quote, you know what, my slide may have a mistake and institute material is right. Then I will stand corrected. I will not waste my time arguing. I will correct my slide, move on with my life. Instead, the other class, you said 75%. It was shown to you that it is 3 times. If you have learned, move on. If you still want to stick on to 75%, be wrong and stick on there. Choice is always yours. You understand? Good job. You have understood. Good. Not only is that, okay, tomorrow Mr. Pranay Vasishta is going to become an expert in taxation. I'm sure you want to be an expert in taxation, transfer pricing, blah, blah. I'm blessing and I'm saying you will. But if you want to become an expert in taxation, you should not read any textbook. An ultimate expert in taxation will read the Bare Act and interpret it. That is the power. Whenever a client comes to me for consultation, I will never touch any book, anything. I will ask him to state the problem. I will listen to him for 1 or 2 hours with my manager and my team. Then I will make notes. My staff will also make notes. Then we will ask the client many questions, all important questions. Then we will summarize the facts. Then we will download the sections of the Bare Act. Then we will see how that is applicable to my situation of my client. Then we will see what will be the tax implication, whether any possibility for reducing the tax burden, we can advise him. Then we will prepare a note for say 2 to 3 pages, which we will send to him. And nowhere we will refer to any book unless, suppose, that matter is a little complicated. Then we will refer to one more source. I know I'm a little wasting your time maybe, but listen to what I'm saying. We will refer to one more source. You know what that is? Case laws. For that, we will go to an online resource called Taxman. Our office, we subscribe to, I'm sure many of you do it. So immediately don't put a message saying we are also subscribing. I'm sure you are all subscribing. But Taxman is a very popular thing. We go to Taxman and we search. We give the facts of our case, we give the situation, and we keep on downloading all the case laws. Then we go through it. So we'll see what is Supreme Court telling on this matter. Any Supreme Court decision, any High Court decision, any tribunal decision. Then we put all that together and see what is our view, what is Supreme Court view, what is the section, interpretation of the section. Finally, we come out with our answer. Do you notice how difficult all this is? There is no textbook. Only one book I prefer. For that too, again, when I have a quick doubt, sometimes going through the Bare Act is very boring. For quick doubts, for example, 20% or 21%, whatever, like that, silly things like that, I will go to Vinod K. Singhania. Quickly, tax recommender is there, I'll go there and I'll do it. But if it's a question of understanding the applicability of the law to my client's situation, I will always read the original sections. It is a talent you have to start developing from now on itself. Do not only. So you ask me now, is it enough if I read only the Institute Ka material? As of now, for intermediate, okay. But once you go to final, my dear friends, you don't have that luxury anymore. Especially income tax. Should be very thorough in the Bare Act. Please do not think otherwise when I'm giving this suggestion. If you want to be. So now itself, be thorough with the Bare Acts. Okay. Yeah, there is an ebook. In fact, there's a fantastic ebook available. We can go there and freely available. Earlier, we used to buy Bare Act and all by paying hard money. Now the MCA has put it up with the latest amendments. Okay. So always refer to the Bare Act. You will have no doubts about anything. Right? This is a broad suggestion I am giving you. Not only for this, for any law. For any law, refer to the latest amended up-to-date Bare Act. Okay. Good. See, in fact, I will show you my Google itself. You can see here now, I've got ebook and I've got tax laws and rules. So this is income tax. This is MCI website. So I just go there and it's a matter of touch of a button, I get my knowledge. Suppose I want to go to Income Tax Act. I go here, touch of your button. That's all simple. So this is how I would approach. I would ask you to also do. Of course, at the intermediate level, should I do this in depth? No. But when there is a doubt, now itself I'll show you. That is easier. Why I want to show this to you, to make you understand how easy it is. How easy it is and how interesting it is. For example, let us take this. We've got some time. Let me do it. Let me go back. Let me go to ebook. I hope. And then what I will do now, instead of I will Companies Act. Okay, let us see. See, now you're getting the chapters. Now we're getting the chapters. So we are now we finished preliminary. Now we are incorporation. Next prospectus, then share capital, etc., etc., etc. In this order only the institute material is there. Now we have to go to management and administration. There you will find sections are there. There you will find all the sections with their topics are also there, right? So notice of meeting, quorum, it's a nice topic, very interesting topic, and all other resolutions, ordinary and special resolutions. Chuck. Now that's all. Click of the button. I've got it. Here it is. So they've defined ordinary and special here. So what they say, a resolution shall be a special resolution when the intention to pass it as a special resolution has been specified in the notice. The notice required has been given. Now comes the crux of the point. The votes cast in favor of the resolution, whether on a show of hands or electronically or on a poll, as the case may be by members, who being entitled so to do, vote in person or by proxy or by postal ballot, are required to be not less than 3 times. In fact, they've watered down. It should be shall be. They've used the word are required to be. I humbly feel that they should use shall be, not less than 3 times the number of the votes, if any, cast against the resolution by members so entitled and voting. So if any, I keep on stressing this. So if there are 0 votes cast against, right, then you multiply it by 3, you still get 0. So even one single vote in favor, special resolution passed. Okay, so this is something. So it's as simple as this. Have you understood how to see a Bare Act? I hope. Have you got the knack now? Don't waste your time going and referring to every section, because Institute has got fantastically, they have given notes. By and large, that in fact, your so-called 7.52, they would have given this also. Somewhere to make it simple for you, they would have written 75% all. This is standard error. That for time immemorial, people have made many textbooks have this error. Many authors have this error. It is not something. Only my guru, Professor K. Sanataraman, and his students like me, we teach correctly. Otherwise, everybody says 75%, 3/4 majority, 2/3 where they get. Seriously, I don't know. God only knows. Okay. Anyway. I can't show name check now. Maybe later on I'll show it. It is not under the it is not in the scope of these lectures. This I showed you, help you. Boss, you go there and play around, yeah. Abdul ji, you are all young people, so-called tech-savvy people. You are all born, internet born. When you are born, like, Karna had Kavasa and Kundala, you are born with internet. And you are born with mobile, you are born with everything. So such people, you should do experiment with that side. Just go there, meddle around with it, suddenly you will hit it. Seriously. Okay, you can, definitely, we can take you through it, but take some time off to do it and see. India code and all is there, but that's privately maintained. So no assurance as to accuracy. So for Companies Act, please refer to the Companies Act and related enactments. Please refer to the MCA website. Please do not go to any other website. Please prefer the official government website rather than any other website. Okay. My suggestion to you. Yeah, do in your revision in Hindi. Kar dijiye. What is there? It's your choice in whichever language you want. Please do it. But you have to write in English or in Hindi. Are you writing in Hindi medium or in English medium? If you are writing in Hindi medium, study in Hindi only. But if you are writing in English medium, better to study in English. Na? Think about it. Kavita Chandak, you are writing in English or in Hindi? Exam will be in Hindi or English. Check out. So what I'm saying, PhD, anyway, I'm telling you one more thing. In a normal class, when I'm physically conducting class, now I will have these type of discussions with my students. Nothing wrong in that. So long as intelligent students who are sitting, listening to me today have understood 2 principles. One, always rely on original sources. Always go to the Bare Act. Original source. Not from see, again, India Code is there. Tax Guru is there. They are all secondary sources. Your primary source should be the Bare Act as given in the website of the appropriate ministry. Then for interpretation, for nonsense, see, some donkey might write some article in Tax Guru. That cannot become authority on this. Yeah. Even this donkey might write. See, why that donkey? This donkey can also write. It is my view. Mera opinion hai bhaiya. Okay, my Shrikant says so. But what is correct is in the Bare Act. So my interpretation I could have written. That could be wrong. Supreme Court may give a definite or better interpretation. Right? Something like that. It's up to you. See, you are now getting into the depth of the subject of law. Whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, you know what is happening? You are all standing in the 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet. Some of you like Abdul and all, what is that? What's Aslam and all, swimming in 6 feet, 8 feet, see who are doing. Now I have taken you to 12 feet. Now I have taken you to the real depth of law. So I'm going to bring you back again to 4, 5 feet where you can stand comfortably and we will discuss now. Okay, but don't hesitate to jump into that deep well whenever you feel like it and learn more. Good. So if you have decided to write the examination in English, humble request, try to improve your spoken and written English. Humble request to you without sounding in any way, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. This is true for all vernacular medium students, not only Hindi speakers. See, Hindi speakers have one advantage in as much as institute permits you to write the examination in Hindi. If you are comfortable with Hindi, write in Hindi only. No problem. Write in Hindi because that facility is available to you thanks to the institutes because it's part of the government mechanism. Hindi being a national language, official language, you are not national language. We have 23 national languages, 24 national languages. Hindi is an official language, the official language of the Rajya Bhasha. So, rather Rashtra Bhasha, whatever. Yeah, I always make that mistake, so don't correct me. It is official language of the Indian Republic of India, English and Hindi. So, my humble request is, if you can write in Hindi, study in Hindi, talk in Hindi, live in Hindi. But suppose you're going to write in English, then please try to improve your spoken and written English. Is that a suggestion? Same thing for other vernacular medium students also. A lot of students studied in vernacular mediums till say 10th or so, then 11th, 12th maybe English, then UGC, then they come. So definitely their comfort level with English will be very less, which is why many Andhra students prefer that they be taught in Telugu. And faculty who teach in Telugu are liked, but danger, because the same student, when they write in English, they'll have a problem. Okay. And then sometimes they don't clear also. They don't know why it happened. Because when you tell in Telugu, it will be clear. When I tell in Tamil, it will be clear. When I explain in Punjabi or Hindi, it will be clear to you. But when you are asked to write the exam, you don't know how to write. And you can't write in Hindi. Means you can't write the way she is written here. Main karwaye, like that you can't write. If you write, I don't know whether they'll accept. If they will, then that's great. If they will, then that's great. This is a view expressed by me, not necessarily the view of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. As a senior and as a man who has been successful in the examination and as a person who is your well-wisher, I'm humbly suggesting to you, kindly improve your spoken and written English while cherishing your mother tongue, while loving your mother tongue, which could even be Bihari, which could even be Bhojpuri, which could even be Gujarati, not necessarily Hindi, which could be Marathi. Cherish that mother tongue and learn English and become fluent in English. Okay? Is what I would humbly suggest. Moving on. Thank you. It was a very, very, very big deviation, but no regrets because I'm giving you something very fundamental and I'm happy that with my age of 57, I can give this to you and I'm giving it to you. Please incorporate it in your approaches. Right. So alteration of memorandum requires approval of the members by a special resolution. So, similarly, alteration of articles also requires, a special resolution. But while amending articles, we should be very careful because the hierarchy is like this. Act is superior to memorandum and articles. Memorandum is superior to articles. So, when you amend the memorandum or alter the memorandum, you cannot violate any condition contained in the memorandum. Articles will be subject to memorandum. Right? Now, we will be seeing clause by clause how it is possible to alter. Okay? First, you pass the special resolution for alteration of the memorandum. You are altering the name clause, right? First, you pass a special resolution for alteration of the memorandum. Then obtain the approval of the central government in writing. Do you remember? You have to go for reservation of the name. You have to file an application in form number. First you go reserve the name, which you already saw. You go and reserve the name clause we saw. Now, when you want to incorporate the company or alter the name, get the name reserved, then pass a special resolution for alteration of the name. Then you have to obtain the approval of the central government in writing. Whenever you want to alter the name clause, sirf the name clause. See, alteration of memorandum requires special resolution. Any clause of the memorandum, if you want to alter, you have to pass a special resolution. For name clause, in addition to passing a special resolution, you should also obtain the approval of the central government in writing. The power of the central government here is delegated to the regional director. Regional director. This power for approving the name change is given to the regional director. The application to be made in form number INC 24. Okay. Read with Rule 29 of the Companies Incorporation rules. Now, why should I get an approval of the central government? Because all along this company has been known by one name, right? Quietly, they should not pass a special resolution, change the name, and do something. Therefore, in order to make it public information, they have to go to the central government. The central government will in turn find out whether the company has been conducted correctly, whether creditors have any objection. Okay, if you get an NOC, they'll let you go. Otherwise, they'll say, get an NOC from creditors, like that. And so, depends. See, the central government wants to know that this is not some fraudulent activity, that quietly the company is not changing its name and running away or doing something else. Therefore, an executive review is given, power to refuse is given. Normally, it will be given, but again, they should see what is the nature of the change, etc. Okay. But no such approval shall be necessary where the only change in the name is the deletion or addition of the word private on conversion. Suppose a private limited company converts to public, it will delete the word private. Nah. When it wants to become private, it will add the words private. These type of changes in the name do not require this approval in INC 24. Right? Finally, after approving the change of name, the registrar will make an entry in the register of companies and issue the fresh certificate of incorporation. So, on any change in the name of a company, the registrar shall enter the new name in the register of companies in place of the old name and issue a fresh certificate of incorporation with the new name, and the change in the name shall be complete and effective only on the issue of the certificate. Right? Now, please understand one thing. The change of name shall not be allowed to a company which has not filed annual returns or financial statements. Okay, so if the company has not filed AR and annual return and financial statement, they will not be able to change the name. They have to file it with penalty, fees, etc. Then only the name will be changed. Similarly, please note here, a company which has failed to pay or repay matured deposits or debentures. Are you able to understand? The company is incorporated in one place. Quietly, they change the name and run away. Okay? Yes Bank will become No Bank. So whatever it is. So that type of fraudulent activities, if they're trying, they don't pay the matured deposits. Quietly, they change the name and run away. Okay? So this type of change of name will not be allowed. Pay the matured deposits and then change the name. Okay? But you see, a genuine reason change of name will be easily permitted. For example, to make the company's name reflect its objects better, like that. Or to, for example, see, Madras Rubber Factory Limited. Today it is called MRF Limited. Why? Because it's no longer only in rubber. See, they manufacture tires. They are into nylon, so many things. So, of course, all related to nylon tire cord and rubber, but they are into many things. So, they are called MR, and they are better known as MRF Limited. So, MRF Limited. Such names changes are allowed, not a problem. Okay. But when you want to do something fraudulent, then they don't. So, their change of name shall be allowed upon filing the necessary documents or repayment, etc., as the case. Okay. So, this is something. Now, tell me which pillar is being protected here? Which is the pillar that is which pillar of the company law is being protected here? Who is being protected here? Creditors, deposit holders and debenture holders. They are being protected. Okay, good. Moving on. We go into a very complicated topic. Before that, quickly, one or two questions. Sir, do we need to write exact wordings of not necessarily? See, in this case itself, I would have given you simpler terms and simpler words. You can simplify so long as you don't change the meaning. See, when you take 3 times and make it sound to a person, don't do that. There you have to give exactly. Okay, so be careful about it. Good. Everybody is writing creditors. In how many days? Boss, you can get it done in 24 hours also. You can get it done in 48 hours. If all the documents are correct and everything is okay, 24 hours, 48 hours, no problem. Because today everything is online. Just have to upload it. Within 24 to 48 hours, you get your approvals. Okay. Yes, usually the form names will be a short form of the chapter heading. So in this case, we are into chapter incorporation. Na? Therefore, it is INC. That's what it's called, INC. Absolutely correct. INC. So whenever we have a new form, you please observe it. The form will have an alphabet before it, which would be an abbreviation of the chapter name. So the chapter name is incorporation and matters incidental thereto. So incorporation, INC. Okay. So that's what INC 2024 is the number of the form. See, the form number will usually follow the rule. See, suppose the rules are giving form numbers, na? So they will begin with 1 and keep on going to end. So this is number 24 in that INC thing. INC 24. Okay. Got it? Now we come to rectification. Let me give a background. Company has already been incorporated, registered. The name is identical or too nearly resembling the name of an existing company, or the name or the trademark of a trademark owner. At the time of registration, we have not checked. That is the mistake. Agreed. That is why they say, if through inadvertence, accident, inadvertence means innocent mistake. Inadvertence means innocent mistake. Honestly, see, no intention. Honestly, we thought it is there, we left it. If through inadvertence or otherwise, a company on its first registration or on its registration by a new name is registered by a name which, so that word inadvertence is very important. The other party cannot go and claim anything from the registrar. He cannot say, how you allowed this to happen? You are registrar. Sorry, Baba. Inadvertence, yeah. We missed it. You are the owner of that name, na? You are the registered trademark holder, na? You be vigilant. You come and tell me. Immediately, I'll take action. So what happens? The company is incorporated with the name. Then that other company is there, na, with the identical name or resembling name or the trademark holder. He will usually come with a letter to the ROC and say, this company is resembling my name. Then that will go to the regional director. Again, ROC cannot take a decision. If he'll prepare all the documents, paper, he will call the company also and say, hey, what's happening? What is your view? Then finally put everything and send it to the RD. Now the RD should form an opinion. Means he should come to a conclusion. What should be the conclusion? In the opinion of the central government, that name with which it has been registered is identical with or too nearly resembles to the name. Bad English, but that is how it is in the act, so I have to put there. Is identical with or too nearly resembles the name, correct? But somehow they want to add the word to. So okay. Is the in the opinion of central government is identical with or too nearly resembles the name by which a company in existence had been previously registered, whether under this act or any previous company law. I will assure you 99.99% of the case, identical name not possible. Because the name search will immediately give you that identical. Too nearly resembling is possible, but that we could have distinguished. Even then the guy who's having that name may claim this. Okay. Now, similarly, it is not only the name of an existing company, but it could also be identical with or too nearly resembling an existing trademark. See, trademark means a name or a symbol that we put on a product or a service. Service also. We have trademark, we have service mark. Both are trademark only. For example, the way Infosys is written, that's a trademark. It's called a service mark, product trademark, service trademark. Okay. That way in which it is written is very, very important. The word is also there. So that is registered under a law called the Trade and Merchandises Marks Act. Okay. And it is registered. So you have to make an application and they will take the application. Once your application is pending, you will put TM. Once your application has been accepted and registered, you will put R. You might have seen many products where along with the name, small, one R with a circle. There will be an R inside a circle, small, or TM inside a circle. Check out. If you can put, you need not put. If you don't put, nothing wrong. But some people will put to indicate to other people that, look here, this trademark is registered. Don't play games. If you try to put it on any package and sell your product as my product, it's a criminal offense. Yeah, it is called passing off. And the person can be proceeded, both criminal offense, imprisonment, etc. And also they have to compensate. Civil offense also is there. That apart, suppose this name is resembling that trademark, then the registered proprietor of a trademark can also make. Both the cases, the application should be made within 3 years of incorporation or registration or change of name of the company, whether under this act or any previous company law, that the name is identical with or too nearly resembles a registered trademark. Right? So the registered trademark owner should be very vigilant. Suppose he keeps quiet for 3 years. After 3 years, then it will be gone. He cannot do anything about it. This is a kind of period of limitation. See, a name is also a kind of property now. A trademark is a kind of property. It's an intellectual property now. So the owner of the property should be vigilant. That is why. Usually what we do, we employ advocates to monitor. And whenever they see a new trademark or a new company being registered, they will immediately inform us. And we will immediately file immediately they themselves or our company secretary will file a petition, application to the registrar straight away. Okay. This is part of the legal framework of a company, right? It will be done. That is the job of a company secretary. That is one of the important duties of a company secretary. So he will be empowered to hire an attorney, trademark attorney who will be there. Their job will be see that just like there is a register of companies, there is something called the register of marks, registry of marks. All trademarks which are registered will be published. It is being done online now. Earlier it was a book that they used to get and go through it. Now it is online. So these guys will go and every week they will search online, fresh, any new applications, any new registrations. Even if they see an application, immediately they will inform us and ask us, should I go and proceed against them? So we can do that. In addition to complaining to the registrar, we will also go for filing a suit against them in the trademarks authority for rejecting the application. Yeah. Inadvertence or otherwise, that's a very nice point you are making. Excellent point. Includes intentionally. Okay, agreed. Even if it is done intentionally, you cannot do anything to the registrar. Okay. You can only make an application for rectification of the name. That's all. Okay. Trademark includes both the words, the alphabets used, and also the logo in which it's spelled. So it could be a picture, whatever. Both. Now, once the central government is of this opinion, do you see the arrow marks here? Then the central government may direct the company to change its name, right? And the company shall change its name or new name as the case may be. Because it could be a change of name also. As originally incorporated or as changed on registration by new name. Whichever it is, that should be changed within a period of 3 months from the issue of the direction after adopting an ordinary resolution for the purpose. Right? So the company will be directed by the central government to change the name. That is called rectification. Kindly distinguish between alteration and rectification. Alteration, voluntary. Rectification, compulsory. The central government will direct, then the company shall change its name or new name within a period of 3 months and after adopting an ordinary resolution for the purpose. Okay. Notice of change of name to be given to ROC together with order of CG, ROC to carry out necessary changes in certificate of incorporation and the memorandum of association. Right? As I already mentioned to you, the central government in this case, here it is regional director. Mostly it is RD. Where it is not mentioned ROC, it is only RD. Okay? You, Kavita ji, how many times I've told you I am not familiar with Hindi. Please don't do this now, Kavita. Come on. Don't do this to me. Huh? Please. I cannot, I don't know that many Hindi words. Please. Kindly. I have explained to you so much now. Please. Be kind to your teacher. Don't insist that you should speak in a language that he does not know. Try to understand what he is telling in a language that you should know. I will try to keep it as simple as possible. And if you have a difficulty, you tell what word, I will repeat that word in simple language. Also, there is a clear, I will show you my appointment letter also. Very clearly it is mentioned, Hindi should, only English should be spoken. Please, please don't create this feeling of sadness in me, that I don't know this beautiful language of Hindi. Therefore, I'm not able to connect with Kavita and all. Sorry. Knowledge can go beyond the language. Okay, please. Try to understand. You're reading Institute ka material now. Oh, you're reading it in Hindi. Okay. Chalo. In the case of, you are using the word should use. You're making it mandatory. Wouldn't it be better if you use please use? Isn't that a slightly better usage? Even if you use please, I cannot. But wouldn't it be better use of language if you say please? In case of rectification, Pranav, beautiful point, exact point. You got the point. This is an anomaly in the law, not only in the new law. It was there in 56 law also. You are absolutely correct. Sir, they are telling if the regional director directs, you have to change. Agreed. But why ordinary resolution? You simply say, once you receive that, the regional director himself will change it and give the new certificate of incorporation. Maximum what you can do, you can give them an option to give a new name. That's all. If they don't give, see, that is the problem there. They have to change the name to another name. They have to select a name, right? So that period is given. I seriously don't know. It's a very good question for which I really don't have an answer. In case of rectification, order resolution is rejected. Absolutely correct. This is a beautiful question that I have been asking in open forums, in seminars where I have addressed audiences of chartered accountants, even company secretaries I have asked. Nobody is able to give me a valid reply. No, Mr. Srikanth, you don't understand. Okay, sir, I don't understand. That is my problem. What I should understand, I don't know. Suppose I call a meeting, members come, I can give them the resolution, Baba. Can I take scale and hit them and say, like Kavita ji is telling, you should speak in Hindi, like that? Can I put Lakti and I hit them and say, you have to do this, like that? Can I tell? I can't. If they don't pass, what do I do? Yeah. I think practically what will happen if that happens, practically I'm assuming the company will come back to the regional director and tell him, sir, this is happening, what to do, like that. Yeah. So, somewhere you have to convince your members to pass the ordinary resolution correctly. As Alok says, you have to somehow you have to request them, please pass the resolution like that. Sir, in book there is written 6 months, not 3 months. There is some confusion there, 6 and 3. That's always there is some confusion. Within 3 months, and the company shall change its name as case, maybe within a period of 3 months. Shall we see this every time this comes up? I think it is 3 months only. I think it was amended. I think somewhere some question was asked like this, and 3 or 6 months for issuing a name after passing. I think it is 3 months only. I will check up and get back to you in the next class. But see, because this question came up in an earlier session, and it is 3 months only. I think there was an amendment by which 6 months became 3 months. I will check up, and because in my slide, I have not changed it. Because last time it was raised, and Alok helps me. Alok ji, salutations. Alok says 3 months is correct. It is written in Barat. I have visited it. That is all, sir. Now you have understood my teaching. That is all. Now you have understood my teaching, sir. Alok, not only Alok, you have all understood. Don't trust Srikanth. Don't trust Institute ka material. Trust the Baract. What do you say? Now, Alok ji cannot have a doubt now. None of us can have a doubt now. I'll tell you what. Somewhere the act got amended from 6 months to 3 months. I have referred to the latest Baract and I have prepared this slide. So slightly there is an anomaly there. So to answer the question is 3 months. 3 months. Wow. Amendment has been passed on 1st September 2021. Baract equal to 3 months. Correct. That's always the Baract should be your source of support and proof. Okay. Good show. Good show. So I think now that doubt is clarified for Arushi Jain. Arushi ji, 3 months is correct. Maybe make a small note in your Institute material. And also, anyway, my slide will be given to you now. At that time, you can also make a note in that. Okay. 3 months, amendment has been passed on 1st September. Correct. What is this? My Lady Chocolate is copying the packaging and up to some. See, that is, Mansi ji, you are getting into a different subject. It is called intellectual property law, IP law. Okay. So that's not our subject today. This is one area where company law and intellectual property law is coinciding. Your question is purely IP, where My Lady and Melody, Melody can file a suit against. Or rather, they will file a complaint before the registrar of trademarks and like that, or they can even file a civil suit. A criminal case can also be filed. Police can see, they can go to the godowns and seize that My Lady thing. Suppose it is stealing, they can file a complaint. All that is possible. That is under a different law. It's called intellectual property law. Not subject today. Here only one aspect is covered. That is, when a company is incorporated with a name which is resembling trademark, then the trademark holder can approach the registrar, and if the registrar is satisfied, he will direct the company to change it. That is all. This much you understand, it is enough. Beyond that, you will get into another vast topic called intellectual property. Maybe if you are doing company secretary course, there's a separate specialization there, intellectual property. You can do that. Anna, 3 months is correct now. Okay. Let's leave it at that. Okay. Sometimes some of you might be using a older. Best suggestion now. Before you start revising the topic now, go to the Institute site, Board of Studies site, and you download the latest study material. Latest study material and use that. The latest study material will be up to date. Okay. Okay, thank you, Harshaji. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, good. Now moving on to, the time now is about 7:27. I will complete rectification and I will give you a small break for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then we will again take it up and go on till whatever time. I think 8:45 we will go today, 8:45 again in next class. I think it should be enough. We can complete the topic. No problem. Okay. Penalty for default in compliance with directions given by CG. Now, some kind of answer we are getting now. In case you don't comply with the CG's directions, company will be fined 1,000 rupees for every day during which the default continues, but not exceeding 1 lakh. Every officer in default fine, which shall not be less than 5,000 rupees, but which may exceed up to 1 lakh rupees. But do you notice our question asked by, I think, Dhyanesh ji, Pranav ji is very correct. What happens if they see the members? You can't force them to pass. Now, this is literally. So the company will be fined for the members not passing. So you have to call all the members, fall at their feet, Baba. The company has to pay penalty. Please don't do like this. Pass the resolution like that. Anyway. That's a very nice observation, Mohammad Aslam. They are not making it tough now. It is not a special resolution. They want only ordinary resolution. Number of people in favor should be more than. The number of votes cast in favor exceeds the number of votes cast against, if any. Number of votes cast in favor exceeds. the number of votes cast in favor, the number of votes cast in favor exceeds the number of votes cast against, if any. Okay. So in that case, it is easy. Very, very insightful comment. Now, really getting very insightful and very, very intelligent comment. Beautiful. Correct. Here it is special resolution because they want to change the name. Members may not want. So they have to get special resolution. The board wants to change the name. Member may not want. Therefore, special resolution. Here, they want to make it easy. In spite of that, if majority does not apply, you have to pay penalty. No, this penalty has nothing to do with 447. This is penalty under this section itself. 16 itself, there is a penalty. 447 is different. 447 is a penalty for criminal, where you're doing something fraudulent or you're making unlawful gain and all. 447. 447 is not common penalty provision. I think if you have got such an impression, no. Every section, every group of sections will have a penal clause, penalty clause. 447 is a special penalty provision for the purpose of punishing people who have committed fraud. Okay. Therefore, that is a special provision. Don't get confused. This penalty is in section 16 only, one of the subsections. Penalty is very much there. Penalty is very much there. Okay. Penalty has not been removed. I think penalty is very much there. Anyway, I will check up. Now that you are all able to go to the BAR Act, you are now becoming authority on BAR Act. Anyway, I will take that up, Sachin. If the penalty has been removed, I will remove here also. And I will inform you in the next class. Okay. If the company is in default in complying with any, the central government shall allot a new name to the company in such manner as may be prescribed. Thereupon, the registrar shall enter the new name in the register of companies in place of the old name and issue a fresh incorporation with the new name, which the company shall use hereafter, provided that nothing in this subsection shall prevent a company from subsequently changing its name, according to section 13, which we discussed earlier. But the company will not be allowed to change back to the earlier name, obviously, because ROC will not even reserve that name now. Okay. So now that, see, this alternate has also been given. The central government will allot some name. Okay. When this is there, then why this other resolution at all? Yeah. They can as well say the central government will direct, do this, give incorporation, get out. If you want, you change it like that. Okay. So this is my view. In fact, this amendment is a good thing. But why still they put ordinary resolution, God only knows. Okay. And in this context, the removal of the penalty also makes sense. Ordinary resolution will help the company to easily change the name with everyone's knowledge, including board members, rather than getting into fraudulent activity. Agreed. Okay. Good. Now we are moving to provisions relating to registered office. Before we go there, let us have a small break for about 5 minutes, maximum 8 to 10 minutes. Try to be back. Okay. Sir. well-deserved break. Now, I find that this topic can actually be completed today if you want till 8:45. So, I'm even contemplating such a possibility because we are going through the provisions. In case we are able to, because we can go on till 9 also if you want, and we are only 7:40 now. We are at what? 7:40 now. So we still have time till 9. So easily we can complete this topic. If we can, then we will save that one session for the institute and for you also. If you have many questions to ask, we will take it up and we will. After changing name, the previous MOU need to be maintained by company for 8 years or not. See, if you remember, any document uploaded into the MCA website, the original should be maintained for life. If you remember that point I made. Therefore, the previous also should be maintained by the company for more than 8 years. See, 8 years is only for books of account and stuff like that. Anything which is uploaded, the original should be kept for life. Okay. Save as otherwise expressly provided in this act. That is, they will make a point for information. Let's see where this comes. Then you will understand it correctly. See, it says here, save as otherwise expressly provided in this act. What is it? Act will override memorandum and articles. If something is said in the memorandum or articles, which is contrary to the act will be superior. This is the rule. But they are beginning this sentence with the words, save as otherwise provided in the act. So there could be specific sections in the Companies Act which say that the article can provide differently. Then such provision in the article shall be valid. That is what save as otherwise provided. Normal rule is Act will override memorandum and articles. Memorandum and articles cannot speak differently. But some specific sections they might say the article can provide unless the articles otherwise provide. Like that they will begin. Right? When they do that, 152 and all is there. When they do that, sorry, I think 161, subsection 4, subsection 2 and all. Unless the articles provide otherwise, or in the absence of any provision in the articles or and subject to the same, means, so then that means the article can provide differently. So that in that case, the articles of the company will be superior to the act itself. That is what it means, save as otherwise expressly provided. Expressly means by word, not by implication. Specifically in words they should say, if the articles provide otherwise, then the articles will prevail, or the articles will be. Where the articles provide otherwise, that will be valid. Like that they will say in a few sections. For example, section 47 talks about voting power of members. Okay? And there is a notification dated 5th June which says that section 47 is applicable to a private company subject to its articles of association. So, normally section 47 provides for all companies, including private companies. But the articles of association for a private company can be different. So this section 47 itself is subject to articles, which means to that extent, the articles will be superior. This is otherwise provided. So save as otherwise provided or save as otherwise expressly provided, the act will be superior to the memorandum. Okay? Are you able to understand this? In case you have understood, kindly confirm it in the query pad so that I will know that I have explained it to you. Yeah, you can go till 10 p.m., sir. You are only putting comment and sitting and listening, putting comments whenever you want. Do you remember I am teaching, I'm talking. Have some sensitivity for other people also. This is another thing you should all learn. We are only concerned with us. We are not bothered about the other person. Thought about it? How we are focused on that. You are capable of sitting. Have you thought, is this Srikanth capable of teaching from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.? Continuously the fellow is talking. How about his throat? Huh? No problem. You are young people. Being selfish is part of being young. As you grow older, as you get children, as you have to support a family, you will understand the need to be concerned about other people and their suffering also. Then you will become more matured and you will understand about. Okay, thank you. I would also like to finish it. Think about it. Sometimes when I'm pointing out something, the intention is not. Your enthusiasm for learning is commendable. But along with that enthusiasm, build a small degree of sympathy for other people also. There are some teachers, in coaching classes and all, they will take marathon sessions, 6 hours, 9 hours like that. Actually, I'm not a great fan of that. Even when I used to teach in a private coaching class till 2012, the coaching palas will come and tell me, you have to talk. Go to hell. If you don't want me, I'm walking out. This is my terms. Take it or leave it. I will take for 2 to maximum 3 hours maximum. Beyond 3 hours, the student cannot understand what I'm saying. There's a limit to how much a human being can retain also. We know, as a teacher, we know. So the student will say, sir, complete company, sir, teach me. I will sit and study and go because I don't have to come tomorrow, like that. They are in a hurry to quickly learn, go so that they can prepare for the exam like that. Is all I have seen, From 1992, I have been teaching. From 1992, I have been teaching CA students, company secretary, MBA, everything I have seen. Your eagerness to sit till 10 p.m. appreciated. Not at all questioned. That may not be possible. That not many questions are there. Okay, I don't have questions. Let us see. We can see what I can do. I'll see. Okay. So, your point regarding questions for this, what is that thing? Past year question is also good. We'll try to take up. I don't have ready-made. That is the problem. I'll check up. I'll have to work on it. Just don't have the time for it. Okay. So, registered office. Now, just like name, the registered office is very important. Now, registered office consists of 2 things. 1, domicile, the state. 2, the geography, the address, the postal address. The state in which the registered office is situated, situation class. The address of the registered office, that is address. You understand? The state in which the registered office is situated will be mentioned in the domicile or situation clause. Once a company is incorporated, it is required to maintain a registered office. You can do that within 30 days. This is a physical office, not a virtual email address or website. Physical office, building with a door number, postal address, where the corporation or company will receive service of legal documents from ROC, or in case of lawsuit and all, the notice of the lawsuit, etc. Okay, service of notice as it is called. This address cannot be a PO box. It must be a physical location where someone is present to receive service of legal documents during normal business hours. It could be different from head office or corporate office. You can have, I told you now, you can have a registered office in Bhavra in Madhya Pradesh, but you can have your main head office or corporate office in Mumbai or Indore, anywhere. But you should have a registered office. The domicile and the nationality of a company is determined by the place of its registered office. Obviously, it's in India, so Indian company. Which state will be determined by the place of its registered office? So a company having corporate office in Mumbai, registered office in Bhavra will be domiciled in Madhya Pradesh, not in Maharashtra. Okay. So why? Because then the High Court, which is the court having jurisdiction, I told you now, all that is dependent on the registered office. So Bhavra, we have to see which is the jurisdictional police station. Then we have to see which magistrate it will come under. Okay. And that magistrate only will have jurisdiction over this company for complaints and all that, for penalty and all that, only that. Then against that, you'll have to go to the MP High Court, then Supreme Court. This is how the jurisdiction will come. A company shall, within 30 days of its incorporation and at all times thereafter, have a registered office capable of receiving and acknowledging all communications and notices as may be addressed to it. Okay? So within 30 days, it should have a registered office. So usually they will ask you to give one address in that application form for communication, etc. But then within 30 days, you have to establish a registered office. For that, you have to give proof of address. See, simply informing the company shall furnish the registrar verification of its registered office within a period of 30 days of its incorporation in form INC 22. Application INC 21. I'm sorry, 24. This is 22. Do you see the logic? I'm jumping the sections this side and that side. But usually the number of form number will follow the sequence order. So this is INC 22. Now, when you are uploading INC 22 now, you can't simply say this is my registered office. You have to give some proof. For example, if it is owned by the company, then document of title. If it is hired by the company, lease deed. Very clearly mentioning the company as the tenant or the company as the owner. Some proof should be given for the registered office. Okay, that is prescribed in rule number 35. Similarly, whenever you change the situation of the registered office, wherever, you'll be seeing it later on elaborately, within the same city, town or village, in the same state, different city, town or village, one ROC to another ROC, within the same state, or one state to another state. 4 levels we'll be seeing procedure. Basically, whenever you change the registered office, within 30 days of that change, you should inform the registrar, same INC 22. Okay. Also, under section 12, the company should paint or affix its name on the outside of every office. Okay. Visibly. Have its name engraved in the legible characters on its seal. Also get its name, address of its registered office and SIN along with telephone, fax, email and website. It should be printed on all business letters, bill heads, invoices. Bill head means invoices, letter paper, etc., etc. AGM notice, everywhere. You should give the address, telephone number, fax number, email and website. All that has to be. Also, if you are having any promissory note, hundi, bills of exchange, etc., the name should be printed. This is very, very important. Suppose if you do not print the name in the bill of exchange or the name of the company for so-and-so limited director, if it is not signed like that, then the director will become personal responsible. Suppose a director signs a promissory note. He should sign it for so-and-so company limited, donkey director. Only then company will be liable. If he simply signs promissory note, tomorrow he cannot come and say, I signed it as a director on behalf of the company. If he wants to sign it as a director on behalf of the company, he may be entitled to do so in the articles. No need for any resolution. But he should put seal. Okay? Means for seal. Right? This corporate seal is not compulsory anymore. Earlier it was there, now it is not compulsory. It's an option. If you want to have, otherwise no need. There is company seal and no need. You don't have to have it. Where a company has changed its name during the last 2 years, it shall paint or affix or print along with its name the former name or names so changed during the last 2 years. So whenever you are mentioning your name on the board or the letterhead, you should very clearly, for 2 years, you should tell. 2 years. Till the 2 years expire, you have to give. Dubakur Limited, formerly Fraudulent Limited. Like that you have to give. So that they will know clearly that this company was earlier called Fraudulent Limited. Now it is called Dubakur Limited. Okay. Both words having the same meaning, fraudulent. Okay. The words one-person company shall be mentioned in brackets below the name of such company. We saw it now. OPC should mention private limited within bracket one-person company in brackets. Whenever its name is printed, affixed or engraved. If I have GST certificate regarding that place, can I give it as proof? It's a very practical question. I am not able to answer it offhand. I suppose Yeah, no. Because you see, the ROC then register them. Yeah, you can. See, if you have obtained your GST, by then you should have informed. See, if you want to get GST, it's the reverse. If I remember right, you first have to establish your registered office. Only then the GST wala will give you the GST registration. It's the other way around. The GST fellow should be given proof of registered office, filed with the ROC. It's the other way around. Okay. So that is how it is. Okay. If the registrar has reasonable cause to believe that the company is not carrying on any business or operations, he may cause a physical verification of the registered office of the company. And if any default is found, in the requirements of subsection 1, he may, without prejudice to the provisions of subsection 8. Without prejudice means not bothering about. He can initiate action for the removal of the name of the company from the register of companies. Okay. See, suppose the company has borrowed money and closed the office and run away. Then they are not operating. Then he may strike off the name of the company. Normally, they won't do that. They would rather ask the creditors to go for insolvency. You know. See, sometimes what happens, many companies, they don't run at all. They don't run at all and they keep quiet and then they sort of don't bother and they don't have any thing. Now, in that case, nothing. They are defunct. In that case, only this can be done. Suppose they have borrowed money and all and their creditors are there, then it cannot be struck off. Only when the company started, did nothing, gave one registered office, they went there, board was not there. Based on that, they can strike off the name of the company. Okay. But even for that, they will publish an official gazette and all. Finally, only they strike off. So any creditor can at any time come and say, I have lent money to this company. Then they will not write off. They will call the directors and ask them what happened. Anyway, this GST thing is very practical. Don't bother. In the exam, you will not be asked such practical questions. I've given you not two proofs are there. One is lease agreement. The other is ownership document. Because see, anyway, for GST also you have to give that. If you want GST, you have to give that. So to get GST, the GST wala is not going to give you GST registration without proof of address. In fact, there is an inspection also there. Okay. So yeah, they can also, suppose the creditors are they can be protected by ordering winding up, they will wind up also. Idea is the company is not operating from the registered office, for which the power to inspect has been given to the registrar. Okay. So, in case there is any default in complying with provisions relating to registered office, the company will be punished. Penalty of 1,000 rupees for every day during which default continues, not exceeding 1 lakh rupees. Every officer who is in default, 1,000 rupees. Whether you should remember it, it will be good if you can. Before you ask that question, I will answer you. My suggestion to students is, as part of your preparation, as part of writing down whatever I'm saying, you also prepare an Excel sheet. Penalty, company, officer in default. And say, what is that? Like, as you prepare the chart, you will see some commonalities. You'll try to remember it. You'll see many sections have common penalty. You'll remember that together. Such intelligently, you'll start preparing. Yes, I can prepare and give. Then I will know. You will not know. See, the benefit is in preparing the chart. Suppose I prepare the chart and give it to you, you will get it. But you will never get the benefit of learning. You prepare, you will remember. This is the suggestion I can give. So immediately don't say, sir, you prepare and give. Some more definitions we will see before we move on. We have been using the word registrar. Registrar means registrar of companies, always abbreviated as ROC. Okay. Why I am giving this definition here? Because many times we will be using the word ROC here. The term ROC. ROC means registrar of companies. Okay. The word registrar of companies. The word registrar, when used in the Act, commonly addresses registrar of companies, additional joint deputy assistant, having the duty of registering companies and discharging. So it's a common term. But when we use the word ROC, we mean the registrar of companies. Every state will have one. Some states have two. States have two. To my knowledge, the eastern states have one commonly. If I remember right, Assam has common for all, if I'm not wrong. Check it out in the Google or check it out in the MCA website, you'll get it. And because that is not relevant from the exam point of view, just as a matter of interest, I am telling. And co is usually we use this for partnerships. For partnership, we have this suffix called and co. So, for example, my firm was once upon a time called Karpagam and Co. Now, of course, we got more partners and we merged. So now we are called Karpagam, Krishnan and Natarajan. That's all. KKN. Karpagam, Krishnan and Natarajan. Earlier, we used to be called Karpagam and Co. Means that's a name that we usually give to partnership firms. Company will not use and Co. Okay. So now we come to change in registered office. Possibilities are from one address to another address within the local limits of the same city, town or village. From one address to another address within the jurisdiction of the same city, town or village. Right? That is one thing. For that, it is simple. If you get a board resolution passed, and as you know, INC 22, standard, within 30 days you file it. Simplest means your office is in Mumbai. You are moving from Mulund to, let us say, Navi Mumbai. No problem. Mulund, Navi Mumbai. Same, within the same city, town or village. To my knowledge, I think Navi Mumbai has come within the same city, town or village as Mumbai, Greater Mumbai or whatever. I may be wrong. Whatever it is within the same city, town or village, then pass a board resolution, notice to the ROC within 30 days in form number INC 22. Now, you are moving outside the local limits of any city or town or village where such office is situated, same ROC. Are you able to understand? Same ROC. Then, it is enough if you pass a special resolution. Members have to pass a special resolution. And notice to the ROC within 30 days in form number INC 22. Right? This notice to ROC within 30 days is common. But when you are changing outside the local limits of any CTV, city, town or village, where such office is situated, same ROC. Be very, very careful. Almost all other states, no problem. All other states, no problem. Because only one ROC within that same state, from one city to, if you're moving from, say, Bhavra, you're bringing it to Indore, then no problem. Same from one city, town or village to city under the same ROC. No problem. Special resolution, notice, that's our matter over. No approval, nothing. Now, from the jurisdiction of one registrar to another registrar within the same state. This is possible only if you are in two states, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Okay? Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. In these two cases, it is possible that you might be moving your registered office from Chennai to Coimbatore. In Tamil Nadu, we have one ROC in Coimbatore, one in Chennai. So Chennai to Coimbatore or Coimbatore to Chennai, Pune to Mumbai, Mumbai to Pune. And then what is the procedure? Since you're moving from one ROC to the other, you have to make an application to the regional director. The company should make an application to the regional director. And the RD should confirm the change. The RD should confirm the change and send the communication to the company. Okay? 30 days from the date of receipt of application by the RD, he should communicate his confirmation. It's a time-bound procedure. RD is given 30 days to dispose of the application. He will ask valid questions if you are giving CE. This 30 days is subject to you giving all the information. Suppose you do not give the information, then time extends till the time you give the information. Suppose he got your application, then he is asking you, why are you moving? Are the creditors all fully paid? Then you have to give a reply. Show, creditors are all paid up to date. No dues, nothing. Statutory dues fully paid, etc., etc. Now we want to move. Then he'll give. Then, once you get the confirmation from the RD, within 60 days of the date of confirmation, not date of receipt, date of confirmation, you have to file a copy with the ROC. Please understand, the ROC is one below the RD, right? So now we are moving from Chennai to Coimbatore, right? So once the RD gives the approval, you have to give the confirmation to the ROC Coimbatore. Where you are moving, you have to go and give. So that the ROC Coimbatore will call for the file. The ROC Coimbatore will call for the file from the ROC Chennai. And the ROC will send this file to the Coimbatore. And the record will be changed. So the ROC will register the same. He'll bring it under his control, certify the registration within 30 days from the date of filing of confirmation. It's a time-bound procedure. You can do. The certificate issued by the ROC will be conclusive evidence that all the requirements of the Act with respect to change of registered office from one ROC to another have been complied with, and the change shall take effect from the date of the certificate. Okay. See, these are all classic MCQ type of questions where they will say change in the registered office from revision of one registrar to another registrar requires special resolution only, special resolution and confirmation by RD, like that. Okay. Or they might also include dates there. So and then they might ask 4 options. So you should know what is what and you get. This could be a classic MCQ question. Or else they could ask you a question that says, so-and-so limited wants to move its registered office from Mumbai to Pune. Advise them on the procedure to be followed. So this is a pure theory question. In which case, you can simply write what is in my slide here. That's all. You can simply write, the company shall make an application to the regional director for confirmation. The RD shall confirm it and communicate the same to the company within 30 days from the date of receipt of the application. The company to file confirmation. Don't reproduce this diagram in the exam. Please do not reproduce this diagram in the exam. This diagram is meant to help you to remember. But you should use complete English sentences to write the answer. Or Hindi sentences to write the answer. While writing the answer, do not use telegraph language like Aslam uses. When he puts up comment, he puts Hundi includes like that and all. So like that, you can't put such cryptic comments. Your answer should be complete English sentences having subject, predicate, verb. Everything should be there with syntax. Right? Then your chances of getting more marks. Right? Most of the time, students who get low mark in law, I have noticed, are not people who do not know. They know the law. They are people who are unable to write that clearly in English to convince the examiner. Sorry to make this comment, but this is the fact. I see a lot of people getting 40, sometimes getting 35 and all. And I try to find out why. Because they are knowledgeable, they know. If you ask him if you ask him multiple choice, he'll get 100 on 100. But if you ask them to write, gone. Okay, but remember, as a chartered accountant, suppose you want to practice pan-India, for example, Chennai and all, most of our communication with the income tax department is in English. I don't know why most. Every communication is in English. Okay, we only draft in English and we submit our papers in English only. Okay, though our local language here is Tamil, but central government. So either I can do it in Hindi or in English. So they are also happy with English. So we give it in English. Right. So Hundi is not a subject of our discussion today. You should have studied it. You have studied so much now. You will study it in Negotiable Instruments Act. NI Act is there now. Suppose I am taking NI Act, I will tell you about Hundi. Otherwise, whoever is taking NI Act will tell Hundi. Hundi is basically a promissory note. Okay? Hundi is the indigenous term, local term for promissory note. Okay? There are different types of Hundi. Hundis were prevalent in the western part of our country, mainly Gujarat, Maharashtra, right? They were practiced by the merchants in that part of the country. for financing and all. So they are called hundi. The hundi, still the term hundi is used. Hundi is very much there. Basically, hundi can be a bill of exchange or a promissory note. Both are called hundi, depending on what type of hundi is. Okay, there are a lot of types of hundi and all. 100%, this is not the time to tell now. Aslam, when we come to negotiations on that, I will tell you about it. Right now, hundi is a kind of promissory note, mostly promissory note. One type of hundi is a bill of exchange. Okay, that is all. It is still valid in the Negotiable Instruments Act. It has been saved by the NI Act. So you can, hundi system is still valid. I don't know where you got this information. Let us not argue and waste your time. Let us accept what you say. Hundi is not valid. In those days, hundi is there. It was basically a promissory note. Okay, but hundi is still prevalent among Gujarati merchants and Marwadi merchants. Rajasthan, Gujarat, parts of Haryana, etc. They still use it. Yeah, you don't have to learn everything by heart. But if you think you are not, you can see what this slide that I have given you now. Try to remember it, the important points, and then write in your own words. No problem. Okay? Write in your own words. Means, what are the important points you should remember? Application to RD by the company for confirmation. Then RD should communicate confirmation, 30 days. Company should file confirmation to the ROC, 60 days. ROC should register. Certificate will be conclusive. That's all. Try to remember like that. That is why I'm giving you slides like this to help you to remember. Okay. Can we add a director in a company before filing INC 20A? 180 days or not, it has to come. So, sir, your question I am not able to understand. Can you elaborate? Before filing INC 20A, 22 you mean? I don't know. I'm not aware of INC. If such INC 20A is there, I'm not aware of it. Okay. So maybe you know about it. Please tell, educate me. Okay. Sorry. You can add a director even the next day. Okay. If you, after incorporation, next day also, you can add a director. Okay. There is no restriction on adding a director, or you mean to say appointing a director. You can appoint. Hold a board meeting, appoint him. What is that? Additional director can be appointed, or hold a general meeting, appoint him. No problem. You can. Now we come to the most important, from one state to another state. This is a major change here, because almost you're going to uproot yourself and move from one state to another state. So this is very, very powerful. First, you have to make an application to the RD. This requires a change in the situation clause of the MOA. Please note, up to now, there is no change in the situation clause. Everything was same state. First time you have to pass. Now you have to pass one special resolution for change in the situation clause. You have to pass another special resolution for going outside the local limits of the city, town, or village. Please note, there are two special resolutions. One for changing outside the city, town, or village. Another for changing the situation clause. Two special resolutions. Then you have to make an application to the RD. After that, the RD will dispose it off within 60 days. But before doing that, the RD will, central government means RD, he will simply ensure that he has satisfied himself. That is, whether all the creditors and debenture holders are happy, that they can even give an opportunity to the government to come and give a presentation. They will say, get an NOC from the income tax department, whether you are having any arrears. More importantly, get it from GST, whether everything arrears. PF, everything you clears, or get a certificate from the chartered accountant saying there are no statutory dues. And if a CA is willing to take that risk, he will give. If there is a due, he will say, I will only give a certificate with the due. Other you pay and come, I will give a nil certificate like that. Okay. So that type of a check and balance is there. The idea is a company cannot keep debts open and run away from that state. In case some debts are due, you are not able to pay now, at least you should provide security for that. So that tomorrow, if anything happens, you sell this land. In the meantime, see, change in the registered office can be for many valid reasons. It could be because the company wants to, so for example, moving from Indore to Mumbai for more control over my operations, central control over my operations, like that. Nothing wrong. many companies are moving from South Tamil Nadu to Chennai because they feel they have more access to governmental support and they have more access to central location. So you can move. That's a genuine reason. But before doing that, all debts, etc. have to be paid. Strategic reasons are there for moving register office, no problem. Company to file a certified copy of the order of the RD approving the alteration with ROC of each state. Of each state. So you are moving, let us say from, say Tamil. See, in fact, we had one company which we were auditing. They have moved from Chennai to Maharashtra. Exact change. Chennai ROC to Mumbai ROC. So they have to get the approval from the RD for Maharashtra, the Western Region RD. Then once they get the approval from the Western Region RD, they have to file a copy of the order of the RD with both Chennai ROC and Mumbai ROC within 30 days from the date of receipt of the certified copy of the order. Then both the ROCs will register the same, and the ROC of destination state, to issue fresh certificate of incorporation within 30 days. And usually they do it almost matter of 2 days, 48 hours they do it. So it's all online here. Everything is in order, they'll do it immediately. See, today you don't find that bureaucratic stuff happening. MCA is very much smooth operation. Everything is online, everything is flow. And if suggestion, don't do it yourself. Hire a company secretary to do it. Your knowledge is important. As a chartered accountant, you should know. But don't do it yourself. See, I always think I am a chartered accountant. I am like a cardio ma. I am a cardio surgeon ma. I am coming there to open. I am going to go to the heart. I am going to do only minor. I am going to do work on the minor areas. I am going to go microscopically. I am going to cut, paste, check, bypass. I want to suture and go. While doing this, I cannot also concentrate on anesthesia. I can't also do anesthesia. So I need a guy there who's an anesthetist. He is an expert in anesthesia. But doesn't mean that I don't know anesthesia. I studied it. I know what gas he is going to use. I know what is the mix. I can even advise him. Based on the patient's life science, I will tell him, sir, this patient is a senior old patient, but do it carefully. That much knowledge I have, but I can't do that also. How many things I can do? So I will concentrate on my job. My job is one. That his job is another. He has to do that. I mean, are you able to understand what I'm saying here? I'm giving the example like this because everybody has a specialization now. So I do not take this. He is fine. Why should I go and do that? Let him do it. He is going to earn some fee out of it. Let him earn. I will do this, I will do that, I will do everything. We will not do anything well. Rather, concentrate on one act, one thing. For example, advising companies on merger and acquisition. So I do that regularly. It's a consulting activity. I advise them on strategy, I advise them on what to do, I advise them on the whole procedure, everything including. And then wherever necessary, I pull in that right professional to do that activity and go on. So finally, getting the whole thing through and the amalgamated company through accounting and all, I will take care. Taxation, I will take care. But company law, but give the company secretary like that. Okay. So, correct. From one region to another region, then both RDs. No, sir. Your point is, see, the application to be made to the destination RD, not the. Your question is a good question, Alokji. As usual, you are asking a good question. You have to make an application to the destination RD, not the source. So if, for example, the company which moves from Chennai to Mumbai, they have to go to RD in charge of Western region. There is an RD sitting in Mumbai. RD in charge of Western region, he will approve it and then it will be pulled here. The RD in charge of Southern region has nothing to do with this. Once that RD approves it, but before approving it, he will get a report from his colleague in South. He will ask him, everything is okay. Then once it is confirmed, he will give the approval. Yo, this Hundi, please leave it, sir. You can use Hundi in the new name, old name, whichever name you have now. Okay, I'll put it differently. Anything that you do, you should do it in the current name, not in the old name or new name, in the current name. See, what is your current name? That name you have to use. Ajto, your name is Dubakur Limited. That name. Yesterday, your name was Fraudulent Limited. That name. So, whichever is your current name, you have to use it. New name, old name, no. Current name. Till name is approved, that name. Then, this name. So, no old name, new name. Okay. But, in the Hundi, you should mention the current name. But since you have changed your name, you have to also put within bracket formerly fraudulent limited. That is compulsion because of section here. You understand? That is because of the section here. Right? Got it? Now we come to another alteration, which is memorandum. Special resolution for alteration of the memorandum. So this is fairly simple because you are only changing, mainly the change will be with respect to capital and object. Name change we've already seen. Domicile we've already seen. Now object and capital. Now object. Okay. And capital. Whenever you are amending the memorandum, you should file a copy of the new amended memorandum with the registrar. The registrar shall alter any alteration of the memorandum. See, name, situation we have seen. Now, the remaining word, capital and object and capital and object. Liability cannot be amended. Subscription cannot be amended. Okay? Now, so the registrar shall register any alteration of the memorandum with respect to objects of the company and certify the registration within a period of 30 days from the date of filing of the special resolution. So it's a very, very simple thing. We have done it many, many times where what we will do, the object, see, suppose the company wants to change the object, they can do that. Nothing wrong. Then they can do the borrowing. See, suppose they want to change, they want to go for a bank loan for a new project in a new activity. In the initial discussion itself, I'll tell them, Baba, be careful, your memorandum does not contain the clause. Immediately they will say, go ahead with it. So that will take 15-20 days. We'll finish the passing the special resolution. 21 days notice we'll give. Sometimes you will be seeing later on short notice also can be given. Then we'll file the forms. Within a matter of 48 hours, we'll get the approval. With that, we will go for, with the new memorandum, we will go to the bank, etc. For project, we'll start. No problem. No ultra-vires problem. Okay. Now we come to a very, very interesting and important area, which could also throw a light on some doubts that you are having. For example, special provision for companies which have raised money from public through prospectus and have any amount unutilized out of the money so raised. Unutilized money. See, the company has gone for a public issue, right? They said they want to do some business. Let us say they said they want to do steel business. Public is happy, they gave the money. And there is an amount. So that money has not been used for steel business. It is unutilized. Now, the company says, you know what? We don't want to do steel business. We want to do cement business. Suddenly, after public issue, money has come unutilized. Now they are saying, hey, you know what? We have changed our mind. I tell you what, steel is not good. We will go for cement. No problem. But such companies shall not change their objects for which they raise the money through prospectus unless a special resolution for this purpose through postal ballot is passed by the company. So first they have to go back to the people who gave the money. Special resolution should be passed. Means the number of votes cast in favor should be not less than 3 times the number of votes cast against, if any. Got it? Suppose the public is holding 40% shares. Out of public, 25% has told. We are not interested. Now, 25 means remaining 75% vote should be for. Even if less than that is coming, special resolution is not passed. You understand? So that is why they have put special resolution. Number of votes cast in favor should be not less than 3 times the number of votes cast against, if any. Okay. Now, which the promoters cannot give now. Because the promoters are holding only 60%. Public is holding 40. Institution will be holding another 20. Means 40 promoter, 20 institution, 40 public. If even public only 25% vote against, then they need 75. 25 into 3, 75. Whereas together with the institution, they are having only 60. You understand now why this 3 times becomes very important. Okay. Whatever it is, they have to pass a special resolution. Now, the details as may be prescribed in respect of such resolution shall also be published in the newspaper. Because they have gone public now, so everybody should know about this company they took the money for steel, now they want to go to cement like that. Nothing wrong, but transparency, disclosure, okay? Now suppose Mr. A is a shareholder. Who doesn't want, boss, I gave the money for cement, ma. I don't want steel. I know you passed a special resolution and all, but I don't want to be. So that dissenting shareholders should be given an opportunity to exit by the promoters and shareholders having control. For that, SEBI has clearly fixed. That is, they will buy. The promoter should purchase the shares of the dissenting shareholders. So this is a protection available to the dissenting shareholders. This is a very beautiful section. It's meant to protect the investor. Okay, this provision protects the investors who have invested their money based on the original objects. So even going beyond doctrine of ultra-vires, even you want to amend it properly and then use the money also, I am not happy, I can walk out. So promoters have to really convince the existing shareholders that the new object is better than the old. Only then they can change. It's a very interesting section. There could be problem questions arising from this. Date of filing means resolution passed. No, date of filing means date of filing. Okay. Filing means filing. Uploading. Date of uploading. That is my understanding. Okay. Now, general provision for change in memorandum. A company shall, in relation to any alteration of its memorandum, file with the registrar, special resolution passed by the company in this regard, the approval of the central government, if the alteration involves any change in the name of the company. The registrar shall register any alteration of the memorandum with respect to the objects of the company and certify the registration within period of 30 days. This is any alteration in the memorandum. Means we are only left with one capital class and liability. Suppose you want to convert from limited liability to unlimited liability. Shall pass a special resolution. That's all. Get the approval of central government. And right. If the alteration involves any change in the name, the registrar shall register any alteration of the memorandum with respect to the objects and certify within 30 days, etc. No alteration shall have effect until it has been registered. Right? Some more general provisions for change in the memorandum. Any alteration of the memorandum in the case of a company limited by guarantee and not having a share capital, purporting to give any. Do you remember this? We already saw it in memorandum also. You cannot have any provision in the memorandum by which you are giving any benefit to a non-member. Only members can participate in the divisible profits. If your memorandum provides for giving any benefits like divisible profits to the right to participate in the divisible profits to a non-member, that shall be void. That you saw it there. As originally registered, memorandum cannot contain a clause for giving any person a right to participate otherwise than as a member. Here, you can't amend the memorandum so as to provide or alter the memorandum so as to provide a right to participate in divisible profits to a non-member. Non-members are not entitled to any dividend. Okay. There is a provision meant to protect the rights of the members so that willy-nilly through the memorandum, you cannot bring a non-member to enjoy the benefits of the profits. Okay, that's all. You're only protecting the existing members from this. Alteration of articles. The alteration of articles requires special resolution and subject to the provisions of this act and the conditions contained. Now, one of the important provisions in the articles is the three matters that are provided by a private company. Suppose you want to convert private to public, you will have to remove the three matters. Suppose you want to convert public to private, you have to include the three matters. So, whenever a private company alters its articles to remove the restrictions and limitations, then from that date, the company shall cease to be a private company. Now, reverse. Private to public, no problem. Please come. Become more, we will be more stringent. Welcome. You alter your memorandum, you alter your articles. Come, we will make you public. Enjoy. But any alteration having the effect of conversion of a public company into a private company shall not be valid unless it is approved by an order of the central government on an application made in such form and manner as may be prescribed. So all you need to do is alter your articles to remove the three matters, become a private public company, go on. And that's all. That MGT 14 you file because you have to pass a special resolution, that's all. But suppose you are converting public to private, sorry, you include the 3 matters, nothing is going to happen. Go to the central government, make an application, and approval should be obtained. Okay. So every alteration of the articles and a copy of the order of the central government approving the alteration for conversion shall be filed with the registrar with a printed copy of the altered articles within 15 days. Again, the word central government here means RD, Regional Director. Whatever alteration is made will be valid as if originally contained in Articles of Association. Okay, got it? Every alteration made in the memorandum or articles of a company shall be noted in every copy of the memorandum or articles. If any old copies are there, they should be destroyed or struck out, or on that they have to affix the new changes and print it. Only the new altered memorandum should be given to people, not the old one. Okay, if there is any default, there will be a penalty for every copy of the memorandum issued without the alteration, 1,000 rupees. Actually, from now on, it's all very, very simple provision. You can easily complete the topic within the every company on being so requested by a member shall send copies of the following documents within 7 days of the request. So any member wanting memorandum, articles, every agreement or resolution, okay, which is mentioned in 117, we will see it when you come to management and administration. What is this? All important resolutions, copies, they are entitled. Under section 117, even special resolution is mentioned. Any resolution passed and agreements will be filed under that section. All those, the copies can be required. Then the company should provide it within 7 days. Of course, the member can go and get it from the public record, from the MCA site. But he has to pay some money to the MCA site. But if he's a member, then the company should provide to him on the payment of fees. Okay. So in case of default, the company and every officer who is in default shall be liable for penalty of 1,000 rupees for each day during which the default continues. Now, once a company is incorporated, that is not the end of the story. The company can open a bank account, etc., but the bank account cannot be operated. It cannot exercise any borrowing powers. Nothing can be done financially unless it has filed a declaration by the director within a period of 180 days of the incorporation of the company with the registrar. And so that is what you mean by 20A. I said, okay, chalo. With the registrar, that every subscriber to the memorandum has paid the value of the shares agreed to be taken by him on the date of making of such declaration. The company has filed with the registrar a verification of its registered office within 30 days in the prescribed manner. So within 30 days, you should give the prescribed manner. Within 180 days, you have to file the declaration that every subscriber has paid the value of the shares agreed to be taken by him. That's all. 2 simple conditions. One declaration that subscribers to the memorandum have paid the money. That is, the money has actually come into the bank account. 2, the company has filed with the registrar a verification of his registration office. So these 2 have to be filed with the registrar. Then the certificate of commencement of business will be issued. Only then they can open that. See, the bank account is opened. The money is deposited. Then they will give the declaration, give the information of registrar office, then obtain the commencement of business, and then only they can operate the bank account. They can borrow money. Till such time, they cannot do anything. And simply keep quiet. This happened to one of our clients. He had a major problem with his address. He could not give address proof. Big nuisance. Then because of some Aadhaar problem, something, one name was coming in the Aadhaar, one name is coming in the PAN, some nonsense it was. So I told him, boss, you give me proof, I'll file. Otherwise you go. What can I do? The government is like this. No, what to do. Nothing can be done because everything is electronic. Then he is telling, do something, sir. Something kuch nahi kare. It is not possible to do something. You give the detail. Then finally he got it. He got it rectified. Aadhaar got rectified. He bought it. Then we uploaded. He got his certificate of commence. So we filed the, registered office approval within 30 days. Actually, it was not filed within 30 days. It was filed belatedly with penalty, means the extra fee, late fee. He filed it. Then within 180 days, we gave this. See, 180 days is the upper limit. Normally, when we incorporate a company, now we won't wait for 180 days. Within the next 1 week or 2 weeks, we will file the registered office form. We will file the declaration. We'll get the certificate of commencement, give it to him, go. We'll make him open the bank account, then give it to him. This complete one service we perform now to the client. Right from taking up everything, incorporating the company, getting him GST number, blah, blah. And this is one service that we do. Then next step like that. Okay. Now, penalty for default in compliance with provisions relating to commencement of business. In case you don't obtain commencement of business, then penalty of 50,000 rupees. And 1,000 rupees for officer for every day during which the default continues. Consequence of failure to comply with the provisions relating to commencement of business, where no declaration has been filed with the registrar within 180 days, then, and the registrar has reasonable cause to believe that the company is not carrying on any business, then he can remove the name from the register. So, fellow got incorporated, immediately name will be removed. And this is without prejudice to the penal provisions. So, in addition to, so without prejudice means in addition to the penal provisions, the company's name will also be struck from the register, removed from the register. You can ask me, when without prejudice to means in addition to, why they cannot use in addition to? This is a good question. Because they want to use flowery language. See, if you tell something in simple language, no, who will pay you money as a chartered accountant? You should tell something in a way that it's a little complicated. Suppose you go to the doctor and he tells you in simple words, then say, what type of doctor? Yeah, he's not using any medical terminology like that. Suppose you go to an advocate and he's telling everything in simple terms. Hey, what lawyer? Yeah, you are not using Latin like that. Sometimes, we have to use. Sometimes when I'm having a client, I'll call my manager and tell him, what do you think? You think 54 or 54A, 54F? I don't know. No, sir, like that. He will also be acting. The client will be literally shivering. Sir, do something, sir. No, wait, I'll tell. So this type of drama, use of language makes you more, seen as a highly knowledgeable person. This is the drama you should know how to play. If you don't know, then if you use language that he can understand, then what is there? It's a professional, whatever you want. Okay. If it is not declared, so the company becomes not dormant, defunct. Dormant is different. Don't worry about dormant. It's not dormant. Dormant is you make an application and say, I want to be dormant. This is defunct. DEFUNC, defunct. They will remove the name of the company. Dormant company name is not removed. It will be kept, but they don't have to file certain documents. Okay. It's not dormant, defunct. We do not need for apply for it. It will come with the certificate of incorporation along with that PAN, TAN. Why only TAN? PAN also will come. PAN, TAN. That is a beautiful combination they have got. Both once you incorporate the company, the time of birth itself, PAN, TAN, stayed away. Okay, that's a good thing, now. That way we should thank our enlightened Prime Minister and the Minister of Corporate Affairs for doing this type of miracles. Okay. Both the penalty amount need to be paid or only one now. 1,000 for every day, not exceeding 1 lakh, only one penalty. Hey, both company also has to pay, officer also has to pay. Both have to pay. Both have to pay. Yeah, today will be the last class. You want it to be the last class for me or last class for this topic? Today will be the last class for this topic because hardly another 10 slides. And I can go till 9. Today I'll complete it. Company of any class may convert itself as company or other class by altering its memorandum. You understand? So limited by shares, you can become limited by guarantee. Limited by guarantee, limited by shares. Like that. So after amending the memorandum and articles, okay, the registrar shall on an application, after satisfying himself that the provisions of this chapter for registration have been complied with, close the former registration and issue a certificate of completion in the same manner as its first registration. Okay. So the new format it will come. So the registration of the company under this section shall not affect any debts, liabilities, etc. So merely, it's for example, a company limited by guarantee may now become limited by shares, or a company limited by shares now become limited by guarantee. Whatever it is, the existing debt, liability, obligation, contract, everything will be the same. Okay. Now, I will definitely, today we will try it, we will complete it. Today I will complete this. No company shall, because there is nothing for me to teach in the next class. What I will teach for 3 hours, next class, there is nothing. I can't do 3 hours, I cannot do old question papers for Mr. Abdul. Not possible. Maybe some time is there, I will do old question papers along with the next class, in the next topic. No company shall, either by itself or through its nominees, hold any shares in its holding company. And no holding company shall allot or transfer its shares to any of its subsidiary companies. And any such allotment or transfer of shares of a company to its subsidiary company shall be void. Means, cross-holding is prohibited. In accountancy, you would have studied or you will be studying chain holding. A holding, B subsidiary, C is the subsidiary of B, then C is the subsidiary of A. Chain holding allowed. Up to 2 levels, you know that. Up to 2 levels allowed. But B cannot hold shares in A. Subsidiary cannot hold shares in holding company, whether by itself or through its nominees. You cannot nominate somebody and make him transfer 5 shares to him and make him a shareholder of the holding company. No. If you are the beneficial owner, then you cannot hold in the holding company. Also, holding company shall not allot or transfer shares to any of the subsidiaries. So, cross-holding is prohibited. Please understand. But exceptions are there. So, every rule is proved by the exception. What did we say? Cross-holding prohibited. Where the subsidiary company holds such shares as the legal representative of a deceased member of the holding company. So, for some reason, one of the members of the holding company is dead. Now, this holding company has been made the legal representative of the deceased member. How and all, you don't ask me. Assuming that is so, then as the legal representative of a deceased member of the holding company, subsidiary can hold. You understand? One of the members of the holding company died. The subsidiary has become the legal representative. As a legal representative, it can hold. Or trustee. So the subsidiary is a trustee, holding the shares as a trustee. Are you able to understand? Sometimes it is possible. Now, for example, the holding company, see, I'm giving an example only. I'm trying to give a simple example. Try to listen carefully. Don't ask question. Before you even understand the question, don't ask question. Okay? Before you even understand, don't ask question. Listen carefully. Holding company is a powerful company, well-known company. Subsidiary is there. Employees of the subsidiary are there. Now, they don't want shares in the subsidiary. Now, they want to have shares in the holding company. Now, the ESOP arrangement cannot be between holding and subsidiary. So, the employee stock option is given by the subsidiary to the holding company, to the employees. But the option is to buy the holding company shares. The option is to buy the holding company shares. So, whenever they exercise the option, they can buy the holding company shares. Therefore, for that purpose, the holding, reverse. The subsidiary shares ESOP for the holding company. Now, the subsidiary is transferring, the holding company is transferring some of its shares to the subsidiary. For what purpose? Not for holding by the subsidiary, but as a trustee for the employees. That's all. 1 lakh shares are given to the subsidiary. Subsidiary is holding in holding company, but not in its own name. As a trustee for the employees. Whenever an employee will exercise the option, the subsidiary will give that share to him. So it is not holding in its own name, but as a trustee. I've given an example. I hope you understand. ESOP is between subsidiary and its employees. But the agreement is to give shares of the holding company. Because the subsidiary has no value now. The employee wants in the holding company. No problem. So, but employee is between these two buggers. So, the holding company allots shares to the subsidiary, but not in its own name and in its own capacity, but as a trustee for the employees. So, such shares are exempted. In those cases, the rule is exempted. Okay? Associate can hold. There is no prohibition for associate company having cross-holding. Good question. Associate can hold. Now, The reference in this, where the subsidiary company is a shareholder, even before it became a subsidiary. That is what you are telling. If before becoming subsidiary hold shares in holding company, that is their second point. Where the subsidiary was already holding shares, before it became a subsidiary, it can continue to hold it. There is a second exception. Okay? Not in the capacity of owner, but as legal representative or trustee, one exception. Already holding shares before becoming subsidiary, another exception. Two exceptions are there. So they may ask you a question, practical question on this. Okay? Just be aware of the subject. The reference in this section to the shares of a holding company, which is a company limited by guarantee or unlimited company, not having a share capital, shall be construed as a reference to interest of its members. So normally share means holding share. Interest means the subsidiary cannot hold interest in the holding company. That's it. So these are all definitions. Document includes a summons, notice, requisition, pure theory. That is why I know I can push on. Now we come to service of document. Document means any summons, notice, requisition, order, declaration, form, anything which is maintained on paper or in electronic form. Okay, is a document. Now, whenever any information is to be given to you, a document may be served on that person. So if you are getting income tax notice from the income tax department, it will come nowadays it comes by email, right? That is called service of document or service of notice. So it can be served, suppose it is coming by post, then it should be served only at the registered office. Repeating, if you are sending the notice by post, then it should be served only at the registered office. If it is served at any other office, it is invalid. For example, you want to file a suit against the company. Your lawyer has to send a legal notice now. That legal notice should be sent only to the registered office by registered post. Be careful. If you serve it on any other address, by that, what happens now? Based on that, you will go to court. In the court, that advocate of the company will stand up and say, not registered as RE, like that. That's all, matter over. So be very, very careful. Notice should be given only at the registered office. Okay? Service of document only at the registered office. It can be done by registered post, street post, courier, or by leaving. That means you can come in person and leave it, take an acknowledgement and go. Or means of electronic other mode. See, electronic or other mode, very, very simple. At the time of incorporation, you are given an email address. All communication by email will be sent only to that address, email address. Whichever email address that is, it will come. Suppose you are not using that email address, sorry, what to do? Many people, then that's why we keep on telling promoters, please give a valid email address. Please keep verifying that email address. This should be an email address that you regularly use. Please do not give any other email address like that. Okay. Serving of documents to registrar or member. Okay. Again, you can serve documents with the registrar in electronic mode. May be served on registrar or any member. You can send it by post, registered office, speed post. Courier. Courier is a person or agency which delivers the document and provides proof of its delivery by delivering at his registered office or by electronic. Okay. However, member may request for delivery of any document. See, most companies, what they do, if you are a listed company, the rule is if you are a listed company, your shares should be held in dematerialized form. If you are not holding it in dematerialized form, company will simply ignore you. They won't send any physical notice unless you request it. Okay. By default, you won't get it in your physical address. You will only get notices by email to the email ID which is available with the depository participant, DP, which is public. They can get it from the DP, and to that email address only they will send it. And if it is sent to that email address, it is a sufficient service of document. You cannot say I have not got it. But a member may request for delivery of documents through a particular mode. For example, he may say send it by registered post. Then he should pay the fees for that as may be written by the company. Okay. This section will apply to the Nidhi company subject to modification. The document may be served only on members who hold shares of more than 1,000 in face value or more than 1%. So one Chota member cannot say send it by registered post and all. 1,000 face value or 1%, then you ask I will send it by registered post. You pay me the money, I will send it. Document may be served by public notice in newspaper for Nidhi, or it can be put up in the notice board of the Nidhi. That's all. If it is published in the notice board of the Nidhi, it is enough. Nidhi companies are meant for local operations. They are finance companies which operate in a small area. Everybody who is a member is known to each other. They are exempted from many sections and all, but they should only serve members. Non-members, they won't borrow, they won't lend. So everybody knows everybody, and so the notice board is enough. A document or proceeding requiring authenticated by a company may be signed by a KMP or an officer or employee of the board duly authorized. So suppose CFO is now authorized to sign documents, he should be authorized by the board. Based on that board resolution, CFO can sign. Getting a signing authority is a great achievement, sir. Suppose in a large listed company, you are having signing authority in documents or in checks or in orders. It's a great achievement. Congratulations. But for that, you should show a lot of maturity and ability to understand situations, more than knowledge. Okay. Similarly, bill of exchange, hundi, etc. can be made in the name of or on behalf of the company by any person. And a deed signed by an attorney means power of attorney on behalf of the company, and under his seal shall bind the company. Remember, the name of the company should be mentioned in the promissory note, bill of exchange or hundi. Okay. Companies having common seal, it is optional, not compulsory. If company has common seal, then it can authorize in writing any person or authority under its common seal to sign bill of exchange. It doesn't have a common seal, then the directors will pass a board resolution, or a director and a company secretary can sign, or director can sign. That's all. In all cases, remember, the name of the company should be clearly mentioned therein. Deceased means dead. Sorry, I should have mentioned that. Deceased means dead, mar gaya. Okay, deceased person. Mar gaya. Oh, mar gaya. Okay, sorry, I'm using Hindi, I know, but mar gaya. Okay, deceased. D-I-S-E-A-C-D is Rana. He is having some disease. D-I-S-E-A-C-D, deceased. D-E-C-E-A-C-D, dead. Suppose the person is deceased, he will become deceased. Welcome to the world of English. Okay, deceased means mar gaya, he's dead. No more. I would like to do that, Sunilji. I would like to show, not steps involved, try to show you the documents. The steps involved is nothing. You call a company secretary, he will do it. Filing form, it is nothing. It's a boring job. I don't do it, my people do. I start doing it out of 1,500 companies. There is nothing great fun in doing it. So companies secretaries are there, they'll do it. So forms, just had upload. I will show you some of the forms. When we do share capital and all, I will show some of the forms. Okay, I will show you the form. How the form is there, it's good to know. But what is the big fun in uploading forms? Munim, it's a clerical job. Any clerk can do it. If you remember there are 3 exceptions, please write the 3 exceptions. Okay. Wow. Muhammad Aslam is talking like as if it's a 50-year-old man. Wow. Senior auditor, chartered accountant is talking. I remember there are 3 exceptions. Okay, good. Sir, I have forgotten more things than you might remember. Okay. Who is this? Sir, please show steps involved in company. I told you. Can relative of director of subsidiary company only? Yeah, why not? Relative of director, no, that will come under related party. But here, nothing now. Related. Why director can himself hold? Why relative? Only the subsidiary cannot hold. That's all. Subsidiary cannot hold. Director can hold. Any shareholder here can hold there. Why not? I've already explained Nidhi company to you. If you want more detail, go to Google. Not relevant for your intermediate. It is a type of finance company where they only deal with members. Borrowing and lending only to members. Section 11 is not given in this chapter. Is it in final? No, I think it is exempted. I'll check up and I'll get back to you. Section 11, I think it's not there. I'll check it up and get back. Some sections are omitted. Okay, I may track them and I've removed them. I'll check up and tell you on section 1. It is not in final. It is not there. That's all. Outside India means outside India, abroad, foreign country. That's all. So that is, some documents can be, hundis can be executed outside India. Na? That is foreign country. Foreign bills. Okay, company limited by guarantee can be holding company of company limited by shares. Can be, why not? And yeah, can be. Why not? Guarantee company can hold shares. Why not? Can be. To answer your question, yes. Why is it inside and outside India? I don't know. It's too late in the evening. I will check up and I'll get back to you. How many minimum time is required to do all procedures? Sir, normally we give them 45 days, sir. 30 to 45 days. Because it's not, see, like, once all the documents are filed, it's 24 hours to 48 hours. But these donkeys will not give any document correctly. They will not give. They keep on delaying. So what they will do, they'll give some nonsense documents and then say, you do, why you are not doing. So we'll tell them, this is the list of documents we need. From this time, we need 30 days, like that we will say. So, but my experience about 1 week, within a week, they will do it. Within a week, they do it. But don't be when you're dealing with a client, be careful. We clearly tell them 40, 30 days. Okay. So that you don't have to. Maybe your 3 is because of this. Maybe this 1A, B, 2, you're taking this as 3. That's the best explanation I can give you. Okay. Public financial institutions is LIC, in those days, IDBI, NABARD, these are all public financial institutions, okay, which are financial institutions set up by the Government of India for financing industrial enterprise. Okay, currently MC having 2 portals. Thank you for the information. IFSC will not be questioned. When we come to IFSC, I will explain it to you. We will come across IFSC. I will explain what is IFSC to you. Don't worry. I'll explain it. It may not be questioned, but I will explain it to you. Right? Not abhi to nahi, baad. I will explain it to you in the next class. Okay. We are very extremely great now. We have completed the topic well within one session before. In case you need any further inputs, or if you think I have gone very fast, next class you ask me further questions, I'll definitely answer it. But to my knowledge, I have gone very slow. To my knowledge, in fact, I could have gone a little faster also, but I thought I will go slow and I will try to, sort of be there. So thank you very much. Thanks for the nice words, Mr. Harish. And I will explain IFSC, 100% I will explain IFSC to you. Okay. I will explain. Without explaining IFSC, I will not go. Okay. Thank you. Bye.